to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah.
So you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Do not come. Do not come.
Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Well, I tried to hit all the buttons as fast as I could, but I fat-fingered one. Welcome into the show. My name's Joey Clark. Eddie Bader here.
Hey, Joe.
And Craig Munger here as well. How y'all doing today?
Oh, just stellar.
Man.
Well, I'm trying to hold back because I had a lot of fun watching the Al Smith dinner.
It was insane.
It was Trump. Who wrote those jokes?
Man.
Dude, he had Jim Gaffigan rolling.
Dude.
Oh, and Gaffigan
Gaffigan
roasted
did
that
pretty good,
crap
too.
out of couple.
Dude, Gaffigan is such a lib. What happened?
Right.
I know.
Not last night.
Yeah, there's a clip making the rounds of men on Rogan's show with full-on TDS.
Well, see, that's what I was saying is like I was really expecting him to be just unfunny and just crass and just that mean-spiritedness that's not funny, but he was hilarious.
Yeah. Right, he was laughing at Trump's jokes, too, like hard. Especially, well, we'll have to get to it. We'll play some of them, not even characterize these things.
If I honestly, as much as I give her crap for not going to things like this, I don't blame her for not going.
Yeah.
But did you see the video she sent in?
Oh, I didn't see it because I heard it was terrible.
Me neither. What do you think the chances are that Shane Gillis wrote his jokes for him?
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Okay, ironically enough, the other night he was on Bustin' with the Boys podcast, Trump was, and they asked him about Shane Gillis, and he said he didn't know who he was. So they started reminding him he's the best Donald Trump impersonator there is. And you met him at a couple UFC fights, and he's, oh, I know the guy.
See, the thing is the jokes sounded Gillis-esque.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering.
Well, also, though, the flagrant guys were talking about the aftermath of their conversation with Trump, and they asked Trump's team about, can we bring up Shane Gillis and impressions? And they're like, he doesn't really like impressions. So, I don't know. I think he was kind of cagey when the Bussin' with the Boys.
A little bit, but he said, he does a good one. He admitted openly he does a good one. He's probably one of the best.
Listen to us right now. Trump was on with flagrant Bussin' with the Boys. Yeah. Shane Gillis writing his material.
He's a bro.
He's having fun right now.
Donald Trump is a bro.
He's on the bro tour.
He is.
Yeah.
He's talking baseball. He's talking football.
Talking football. Yep.
He's talking geopolitics at the same time. Like, he's hardcore, man.
And he's talking about people voting for Kamala being cuckolds. Like, what world are we living in?
And the whole Catholic
dinner.
Al Smith dinner starts laughing. Even Cardinal Dolan is laughing. It's just
unreal.
Amazing. Like, it seems the joy definitely has shifted.
I have never seen a more monumental downfall of a presidential campaign that has come simultaneously with just skyrocketing. Because even though the left-wing media is going to do what they do, the general feeling around Trump is like, he's a good guy, you know?
And there's one guy, I don't usually read, say, other national folks' op-eds, but this guy named Roger Kimball put out at the Telegraph for the Brits this opinion piece. And even places like Yahoo News picked it up. I was like, wait, am I reading this right? This isn't a corporate press rag? Again, this is a Brit from the Telegraph. The headline is, "Liberals are starting to panic. Donald Trump is going to win in a landslide." Mm-hmm. And he starts with a terrible joke. Denial is not a river in Egypt.
No, you should write that down before some unscrupulous hack steals it.
Right.
It is also a seductive expedient for the Democratic Party in the waning days of the 2024 presidential election. You see it everywhere in the official activities of the Democratic campaign. When blue donations are soaring, the polls still have Harris ahead. Democracy is on the line. Escaping from the bluster of denial are worrisome little puffs of pandering, always a sure sign that the denial is at best half believed by the denier. This is not surprising. Denial is the reliable product of desperation. The realization, spelled with an S, the British way, ew. However imperfectly acknowledged, well, that the jig is up. Harris's numbers among men of all races are in the tank. And this is to our point of, he's a bro.
Yep.
Trump is a bro. And she, as we'll get to Tommy Tuberville saying, comes across as the crazy ex-girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But I'll keep going with this. The only exception among the brittle ephebes of the media and the academia are the men supporting her. They are there with their Chardonnay, list of pronouns, and aging COVID masks to plant Harris Walls signs on their front lawns. Well, he should check out old Cloverdale. We got a few over there, too. And warn against the dangerous tyrant in waiting, Donald Trump. But this is a minuscule, insignificant cohort, which is why the Harris Walls campaign has been driven to desperate measures. In the last week or two, they have rolled out a pitiful litany of feints and diversionary tactics. Some were unforced errors, as when the news program 60 Minutes ran a preview of its interview with Harris. It prominently included one for signature no-calorie word salad emissions. CBS excised that response when they aired the full interview, substituting an innocuous reply to some other question. But the damage was done. The original response was widely mocked. The bouldered-eyes substitute sparked fury and contempt for the hapless, in-the-can for Harris behavior of CBS. My favorite bit of pandering was the truly horrible, "I'm a man, and I'm voting for Harris" ad. It was rightly derided as the cringiest political ad ever. Like many people, I at first thought it was a spoof, an anti-Harris production designed to make fun of her and her running mate, Tim Walz. That certainly was the effect. But it turns out that the half dozen men in the ad, I did not know this till I read this morning, folks, were not random bearers of XY chromosomes who just happened to support Harris for president. No, they were apparently B-list actors.
Yeah.
Recruited to deliver their lines. So you couldn't even get actual supporters to say this stupid crap. Especially that one guy, I want to look her in the eyes and give her my full-throated endorsement. As he's standing like this, like with a field and sunset behind him on his truck bed, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's an odd collection of effete organisms.
And what lines they were. One actor who pretended to know something about cars said, "You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast." Reminds me of Happy Gilmore. I am thinking of offering a reward to anyone who can tell me what that means. I eat carburetors for breakfast. One enterprising commenter discovered who wrote the ad, Jacob Reed, who has written for the late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, and the real life biographies of the actors. Let's just say that none appears to be a poster child for masculinity. The comments have been brutal. Zero testosterone was used in the making of this ad. A real man instantly realizes there isn't a single real man in this pathetic beta male cringe fest of a propaganda video. From the party that can't tell you what a woman is, as a man, I think I walked away from this ad with a yeast infection. Then there was Tim Wall's pheasant hunting wheeze. I deploy the scare quotes here because no pheasants were harmed in the production of that farce. Walls and a handful of reporters accounted in identical brand new hunting gear are shown traipsing around a field without guns. Were they intending to catch the pheasant by hand and strangle them? This is why I'm reading this.
Yeah,
I was
great.
laughing eating breakfast reading this. Eventually, Walls is given a shotgun, but it was the wrong sort of gun for a hunt, semi-automatic, not a break-action gun. Not that it mattered. As one commentator noted, Wall's gun handling skills make Dick Cheney look like the safest shooter in the world. Perhaps that is why Cheney endorsed him. Walls was alternately compared to the cartoon character Elmer Fudd and Governor Mike Dukakis. Readers with long memories will remember how, during the 88 presidential campaign, 1988, Dukakis tried to act tough by riding around in an army tank, wearing a too large helmet. It marked the end of his campaign. Roger Kimball writes, I have been predicting that Donald Trump would win in a landslide since before Joe Biden was pushed out of the race in July, and Kamala Harris was suddenly airlifted into the vacant top spot. At first, the Democrats put on a brave show. Harris got a minor bounce from the Democratic convention. Despite emitting a cavalcade of lies, she more or less held her own in her one debate with Trump. But soon after Labor Day in early September, cracks began to appear. In 2020, just 44,000 votes in a handful of swing states won the presidency for Joe Biden. That was in the midst of the national panic over COVID. The Dems don't have a Chinese virus to help them this time. They know all this, hence their panic. It's entirely justified. And when you see it all put together like that, because all these stories we've covered on this show, we've seen the media coming up, it's too easy to make fun of them at this point.
Yeah.
Now, there's a part of me that's like, we're getting out over our skis, or we're counting our chickens before they hatch, or something like that. But the energy has gone to fun. There is fun being had on the Trump side of things. So coming up in a little bit, we will do the Al Smith dinner, including Jim Gaffigan and Trump himself. And one quick aside, Trump last night said, and I didn't know this is the first presidential candidate not to attend the Al Smith dinner, like a 70-year tradition, since Walter Mondale.
And how did he do? Oh, wow.
He lost 49 states. Right, he won his home state of Minnesota. And then, okay, this guy, this Britt I was reading, is comparing her to Mike Dukakis. How did he do? And when those comparisons are coming out, when your running mate is calling himself a knucklehead and I don't speak grammar too good, like, and you can't handle friendly interviews, let alone somewhat hostile interviews by Bret Baier. Hey, by the way, if you think Bret Baier is unfair, go watch how he interviewed Trump after 2020.
Oh, yeah.
That's just how he interviews people on occasion. Like, she's in trouble.
I'm speaking.
Yes.
I'm speaking.
I'm speaking.
I just do not see a scenario like when it was first announced and there was sort of that high of support. I was like, man, I can kind of see it going her way. Now I'm gonna if she even comes close, I am going full Mike Lindell. I'm getting a MyPillow, and I'm putting on the tinfoil hat, and I am a full on 2020 truther. I swear to God, I will not believe that she can beat Donald Trump at this point, unless he just does something spectacularly stupid in the next 19 days. Or
I mean, or somebody takes another shot at him. I hate to say that, but what's going to happen?
He's bulletproof at this point, literally. He's literally bulletproof.
That's what I hope. And look, on Fox Business, they're saying U.S. renews peace push after Hamas leader's death. It's not
that always works, doesn't it? I know we executed your guy in his home with a sky robot, but can we be friends now?
Can we be friends?
Yeah, friends.
Oh, and by the way, as all this fun's going on, there's a great resource called the Caspian Report. It's a good, kind of layman's breakdown of geopolitics. And his latest video is, what happens if Iran already gets nuclear weapons? Already has them.
Yeah.
And it starts with a report earlier this month that wasn't much talked about of the U.S. Geological Survey finding seismic activity 10 kilometers deep in a mountain in Iran.
Yeah.
Now, people can say, they haven't gotten it yet. There's plenty of critics. But as fun as everything is, and we're going to continue to have fun today, there's some serious tripwires.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging over our heads right now, or I'm mixing metaphors now.
Is the AQ-Con network still a thing? I know that was a big deal in the early days of the Iraq War, because that's the network that Saddam was using. They're based out of Pakistan. Saddam was using them to try to buy nukes off the shelf from North Korea.
I don't know.
So that's to think that they don't need to actually produce them themselves to have access to them. But I think it's probably very likely that they already do.
Right, and we'll play some of that video. It's sobering. Also, programming note, in studio at 2:30.
That's right.
Is U.S. Senator Katie Britt.
She'll be taking Eddie's seat this time. She's not stealing my seat this time.
Oh, really? We got to fight her.
I'm going to put her in the middle. The new camera.
She doesn't have a
camera. I was going to take away both y'all's cameras and
Well, she's certainly more deserving of it than Eddie or I.
Whatever. We'll figure it out. We're going to have a food fight on the air.
I'll just take my cameras and go home.
Oh, really? My cameras?
Yeah, I got receipts.
Look at all those.
I paid you for the one yesterday.
I don't remember nothing.
Look at all those fish on that shirt. He's ready to vacay. He's ready to hit the lake.
Dude, you guys don't even know.
But yeah, Senator Britt will be here at 2:30. We'll figure out the seating arrangement somehow. And going to talk about some of the stuff that she's been writing about the robots, but also the effect of a Trump win on the state of Alabama, possibly. And, well, we'll see what else comes up. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. And it could be asphalt or metal roof, and you just need an inspection. Should do it on a regular basis. And the great news is their inspections at River Region Contracting are always free.
That's right.
And their estimates are free. And if they do also find a problem, it's not just the free estimate to figure out, okay, here's what it's going to cost to fix it. They're also insurance specialists, so they can walk you through an insurance claim process and make it swift and easy, which is not something people normally associate with an insurance claim or fighting the insurance company. Or, Eddie, you talked about this earlier in the week. You had sort of a rush job. You're really worried about a particular client.
Yeah, we had a special client that had kind of some special needs. And at closing, the money was in escrow for the roofing to be repaired. And it's kind of something that got kind of pushed to the side. And Todd actually reached out to me early this week and said, hey, where were we at on that? And we were able to, with just a few phone calls, we were able to get this guy a new roof. And coming up the winter season, let's be honest, that's the rainy season in Alabama. So you don't want to be in the middle of winter and then realize you got a big old leak.
There's a reason folks are calling them the premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. Call River Region Contracting today at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's see who this is. They've been hanging out on line one for a little while here. Hello, you're on there. Who's this?
Hello?
Who's this?
Hello? Soldier Boy?
Soldier Boy.
You're sleeping?
Oh, I was listening to you talk. Yeah. You sleep so good. Thanks, Joey.
Call back later. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. How about this? Let's hit a break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Ah, Igor, don't you just love the sound of thunder? No, Dr. Frankenstein. It's scary. But I need a lightning bolt to bring the monster to life.
Actually, lightning is scary. A single strike within a mile of your home can send a tidal wave of voltage through the wires, burning out your computers, TVs, and GFCI plugs, even refrigerators and ovens.
Oh, drat. Missed us again.
But here's the good news. The trained technicians at Crosby Electric can install an economical whole house system to protect you from electrical surges caused by lightning, downed power lines, nearby factories, or just the recycling of your own appliances.
Igor, why am I not getting a surge? Well, I have a pretty good hunch. Why, yes, Igor. And a fine hunch it is.
Igor ordered whole house surge protection from Crosby Electric. So should you. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
I'm Wiley Dempsey. I own Carter's World here in Montgomery. I've been here for over 10 years. We recently moved across town to 6383 Atlanta Highway. Without Blue Water, we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we are. They got the message out to thousands of people.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folk helping local business.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, I'm Joey, that's Eddie, and you do look like you're ready for vacation.
I'm dying. You guys don't even know.
And
in fact, I'm convincing myself instead of vacation, there was a story out this week from Jamaica.
Yeah.
That a woman from Alabama and her son got thrown off the cruise ship in Jamaica. Their behavior was so bad they threw them off the boat. That's got to be pretty bad behavior.
It didn't literally throw them off, it kicked like...
They kicked them off.
They were on port.
I was about to say, they threw them over the railing? That's illegal. That's murder.
Walk the plank.
Well,
international waters, is it?
So many miles off, I think it is. But anyway, I'm going to get an investigative reporter team, me and my wife, and we're going to go find out what really happened. Now, we're not going to be in Falmouth where it happened. We're going to be about 30 miles away at this really nice resort.
Wait, be where?
Falmouth is the name of the port.
Foulmouth is the name of the port?
I will volunteer for this assignment.
That's kind of what I'm getting.
And then after that, I'm investigating what I've been told is a terrorist plot in Fiji.
I've heard of this.
It will take me exactly 2 months to investigate this. I'm not promising I can come back with evidence.
Have you been watching the new NCIS show? Because you're really channeling that.
I've never watched an episode of NCIS.
I'm just telling you, I think that's a good idea.
I live with my
If
grandfather.
you're going to be an investigative reporter, make it fun.
I agree.
I got to go to Fiji. I'm sure something happened in Fiji you could write a report on.
Totally. Yeah. I've heard, by the way, this evening I heard there's corruption at Topgolf in Birmingham.
It's going to investigate.
Yeah, going to investigate.
Were they laundering something? I don't know.
Put a boulder hat on, have a notepad here. See?
That's a lot of business. You can anyway.
Is there corruption here? No. Darn.
Let's try this again. Soldier Boy, how are you?
What up, Soldier Boy?
I accept your apology, and you need to apologize for waking me up, too, okay? So I was sleeping good. 3 talking points real quick. First talking point is, I hear Ukraine's little short dictator over there is saying that he has proof, evidence, classified, that there's 15,000 Chinese soldiers coming over. Is that true?
I have not
heard that.
Wait, Zelensky was like...
Yeah, Zelensky said that he says there's 15,000 Chinese soldiers coming over to help Russia fight against them, and he says he's got the classified documents to prove it.
It's possible. And also we've heard Koreans, too.
Yeah, I heard something about the North Koreans, I think, this morning.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? What did I say? China?
Yeah.
I said China, right?
Yeah, you said China.
I meant North Korea.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard the North Korea thing.
Yeah, me too.
Which is interesting.
Okay. So I guess we're elevating it to a true World War III. When we get other countries getting, packing up together and joining tag teams.
Well, and think about before you get to your second thing, think about it was called the Second World Wars by the Brits, because we look back and it's like, oh, it was World War II, but it was little war and like no fighting for a year, little war, territorial dispute, and then it springs up into a world war. So we might be in the thick of something right now already.
Yep. Because I did a reading last night, interesting, the War of Los Angeles during 1942 about the Japanese sub that came across and tried to fire and blow up a couple of the oil fields, I guess, that were outside the coast of California. That was pretty interesting.
That's fascinating.
You ever heard about that? I never heard of the War of California. But second thing is, Zelensky says he's got proof. Here he goes with that proof again. He's got documentation and proof of how to ultimately beat Russia and win the war. I was like, what, he's got to use a nuke bomb?
Yeah.
What's
Where's he gonna get that?
the secret there?
Lasers? Space lasers?
Lasers, man.
Yeah, like, I don't
And then
know.
they say that then my third and final thing is that they say that they don't use the Justice Department as being weaponized. But then why are they suing the state of Alabama for our Attorney General trying to clean up our election list for voting?
Oh, because they've got them on a legal technicality.
Yeah.
You're not in, you did this change within the 90-day grace period where you can't make any changes at all. We've got Craig. I think you wrote up a story about the mayor here in Montgomery, sort of celebrating that. But I mean, I wrote about this a couple weeks ago. My main point is the legal status quo. I'm not claiming the DOJ overreach. The legal status quo leans towards openness, and the big concern, and it's a legacy concern now, is suppressing the vote. As opposed to, when you bring in millions of illegal migrants and you have no way to verify citizenship, the courts have stopped that for years. At the state level, there are going to be a lot of Republicans and independents worry about the honesty of elections, not just the openness of them. But we're, in that same spot. Of course, this DOJ is going to uphold the current unbalanced status quo.
Well, what's so funny is my neighbor, who's a progressive liberal, I told him this. You can save some money on gas. He says, "How's that?" I said, "Come election day, don't bother driving in your vehicle down there for the presidency because we're going to carry the state. So don't worry about it."
I think Trump is going to win Alabama.
I'm pretty confident in that.
By the way, you might get a kick out of this, Soldier Boy. As we were talking in that first segment and you were napping, I got a text from Duke saying Vice President Harris is going to beat Trump, sorry, like never before. And a bunch of angry face. Duke's angry.
Really?
Why are you being so chicken? Why don't you call Duke?
Here's my question to Duke. I don't even like your mayonnaise.
Touche.
I'm a Hellman. Bring out the mayonnaise. Bring out the Hellmans.
Me too.
I mean, I'm sorry, Duke.
Yeah, Duke's mayonnaise.
Why hasn't he called lately? Is he undercover?
Chicken.
Or is he helping the mayor running around trying to get Kamala voted in? Is that what he's doing?
No, I don't think that's it. But I appreciate the call, man.
Let me ask you a question, man. He's 18-19 guy. Let me ask you a question. How can the mayor go around on our tax money, on our salary, on our clock, and go out there and help campaign for Kamala on our money, on our note?
If you've been reading any of my articles, then you'll know that there's an ongoing investigation into that situation. So stay tuned.
I heard about that.
1819 News. That will be forthcoming.
I want some. I don't just want some heat from a heater or a hot water bottle. I want flames.
Oh, like as I said, stay tuned. If you know me, then you know.
Yeah, actually, that is very true.
I bring the flames.
Yeah, so I need to go to Walmart to buy me up a fire extinguisher. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, get a fire extinguisher.
Either that or bring you a steak because you'll be able to cook it off the heat.
Some marshmallows, a Hershey's bar, and some graham
Little
crackers, all that
hamburgers.
good stuff.
And when is this coming? When am I should be seeing this?
TBD. It's a process. If you've read the stories about my investigation into this, you'll know that it's long, it's arduous, and there's a lot of people that don't want me to do this.
You got to get it right too.
Yeah, you got to get it right. You got to get it right.
Can't just throw stuff out there.
Yeah.
Hey, is the Secret Service watching you?
If they're not doing their dang job. If I'm not on at least 5 federal watch lists, then I have no faith in our national security. Because I'll Google. I Google for my job. I have to Google a lot of bizarre stuff, but I also have a lot of personal hobbies.
Knowing this Secret Service, this Homeland Security, they're like, probably, we think Brock Lesnar is spying on the mayor of Montgomery. It's like, that's not.
Well, it's funny. I had this thought the other day. I Googled Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to get her birthday. I can't, just something. I Googled her name, but then, so that was for work. And then I had an idea, and I was following some gun pages, and I wanted to look up a particular long distance rifle. And so I Googled Kamala Harris, and then directly to the next window, I Googled this long range rifle. I'm like,
you shouldn't have done that.
I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm definitely on the list now.
Not have done that.
I hope they spell your name right, though.
They never do. If they spell it right, they never pronounce it right. It's like,
well, how do they say it?
What, like Mongere? Or
it's not that hard. I don't.
No, I do. People. Well, also, I also kind of get like a little annoyed when people say like Craig.
Yeah, well, like Eddie.
Yeah. Well, you're.
Hey, Greg.
I love it. I can't help it. Hey, Craig.
But it's like I like the German pronunciation.
What you gotta
Craig.
watch out for though, it's be careful out there because it's not mosquito season, so there's no mosquitoes out there. Okay.
You lost me.
Yeah, that one.
Remember Trump said there you thought it was mosquitoes when he got fired and hit by when it whizzed by his ear.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
First
okay.
shot.
Okay.
He said I thought I was a little late for mosquito season.
Well, honestly, as someone who has had a close encounter with a ricochet,
yeah,
it does sound like a carpenter bee flying past your ear.
Okay.
So.
See. All right, guys. Thanks.
Appreciate it,
See
Salty
you.
Boy. Have a good weekend, man.
Hey, I've always wanted a friend named Craig because in Craig, there's the movies. Craig's always a cool guy, and there's a million cool ways to say Craig. Like Craig,
how you gonna get fired on your day off?
Thank
Craig?
you. See, I got somebody I can say that to. Now.
Top flight security.
There's been a lot of buildup
world,
in me
Craig.
waiting to have this. So,
but that's
yeah,
the
but
only
it's the
thing
German three. How do you say it?
Yeah,
Tim?
Craig, which means rock. It's like it's a rock. Montgomery Men's Health.
We'll get to them
Yeah,
later.
will we?
Actually, let's do it now. There, Montgomery Men's Health, guys. If you want to look like Craig,
yes.
How do you say it, Eddie?
Craig.
Okay, it's kind of become all the same at this point. You say it enough, it loses all meaning. But if you want to look like Craig, if you want to be like legit buff and well, number one, you got to put a lot of work in and work out and watch what you eat, and there's a whole process to that as well. Probably why his process when it comes to the journalism is pretty good too. A lot of discipline there. That said, you also need testosterone.
Yep.
You must have testosterone. And especially if you're a guy heading into your 40s, 50s, 60s, you're noticing your edge is gone, so to speak, lack of energy, motivation, and drive, including a decrease in your sex drive, see an unwanted weight gain, and you didn't change how, your activity habits, how active you are. You're seeing loss of muscle mass, and again, you didn't change your diet. You're just like, these things are happening. All this together could really mean you're suffering from low T. And it's not just guys heading into middle age. A lot of guys in their 20s and 30s now experiencing low T issues. The great news is the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido, which is just a fancy Latin term for wanting to have sex more. You can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
At Guardian Credit Union, we believe that banking should be personal, just like the relationships we build with members. Imagine a place where you're not just a credit score, but a valued part of our community. At Guardian, our dedicated team takes the time to listen, understand, and tailor financial solutions that fit your unique needs. From buying a car to saving for college and even starting a small business, we've got you covered. Come experience the Guardian difference and let's achieve your financial goals together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA.
And shockingly, more so even than I ever expected to see guys in their 20s with super low levels.
Low T. We see and hear these commercials all the time. Dr. Matt Barber is back in the studio with me. He and I talk about the consequences of low T and what testosterone replacement therapy might could do for you. Listen to What's Working Saturday noon or find us online at what'sworkingcam.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Hi, everybody. This Canadian cool down will start to fade, and we're in for quite a weekend warm-up and some big-time warming next week. Sunny and nice today with a high temperature up to about 73. Clear skies, still chilly, 45 the overnight low temperature tonight. Beautiful weekend ahead with a high around 76 Saturday, 78 to 80 on Sunday. Abundant sunshine, jacket weather nights in the 40s. Still storm-free and dry for several days with 80s next week, daytime, 50s at night. Back to shorts and t-shirts weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. You know, I'm tired of waiting to play these Trump jokes.
Okay.
Let's play the Trump jokes. Because somebody assembled, Colin Rugg, good follow on Twitter, assembled the top 5, and this is being shared far and wide. So let's listen in. Number 5.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz.
I
didn't hear that one.
Like, who wrote these? Seriously. Okay, number 4.
I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas.
Good one.
There's a group called White Dudes for Harris.
Oh, this one
is killer.
Oh, my God. Number 3, White Dudes for Harris.
For Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris. Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
Again, this is at a Catholic dinner. Oh, number 2.
Your issue in this race is childcare, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer.
Oh, my. Woo!
Yeah.
He did not
Yeah,
just say that.
Yes, he did.
Wow. That is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's number 1, folks.
Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum.
And by the way, for those of you who are just listening, Chuck Schumer is sitting literally to Trump's left, where Trump just patted him on the shoulder.
Rubbing his shoulders, letting him know. Here,
So
big boy.
I'll back it up a little bit.
Glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
And he's smiling. He knows that's funny.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he would be like making a hammer joke, like he got hammered tonight or something. Maybe that wouldn't have gone over too well.
Yeah. What? But
Oh no, sorry, that was what's his face. Oh wow, never mind. I got my crappy politicians confused.
But brutal, as you said.
Yeah, that was
and
brutal.
very funny. Like he had a lot of other lines where
yeah.
the room was just kind of
They were rolling.
Yeah, and the fact that Kamala is a no-show, that's a
telling you, man,
huge.
It is
huge thing.
I would not, if I were her, I would not have wanted to go there. Man, they just.
But can you imagine her trying to like send it back?
That's
his
what I
way?
mean. And she doesn't have that delivery.
But
She
it
doesn't have the
shows.
timing.
But it shows you're weak. Go into the lion's den and muster up some courage, woman.
He and Trump did it in 2016. Whenever
Yeah.
he was literally a laughing stock.
Yeah.
And
No,
he
you're
went in
right.
there and took it. Well, I mean, he showed them eventually, but
Right.
But yeah, he faced the fire in a big way.
So we'll see. Again,
brutal.
We could just be wrong. We're celebrating too soon, but man, the momentum, the big mo, seems to be going Trump's way. Let's go to Flower Child. Hey, Flower Child.
Hey, my question for Craig is, I have another idea for a story. I asked Andrew a little bit about it last week. You know, if they're budgeted for 400 and 450 officers, but they've only got 200 being paid, where's that excess money that was budgeted for the police officer salaries going to? That's somewhere between 10 and 20 million, I guarantee you.
Well, I mean,
it went to other pay raises across the city.
Correct.
Well, some pay raises, but then they're using it for paving and other projects. And
There's
other
some of that, but they
expenditures.
gave a raise, cost of living raise to all city employees.
Yeah.
And it came out of that lower officer budget number.
The glut, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what, this year? Or has
Yeah.
it been going there all the other years?
I think it was just sitting there.
Yeah, I think it just sat there in the budget as a surplus.
Yeah, I'd still want to check into where it went. Because I can't imagine them sitting on 10 to 20 million.
Well, your wish is my command. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
See you,
Thank you.
child.
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how are you?
This ain't Duke.
Yeah. Duke?
Hello. Hey.
Worst Duke impression I've ever heard.
This actually Duke?
Hey. Hello.
Hey, hi.
Howdy. Howdy, Billy.
Hey, boys.
Howdy, Billy. Now, by golly, now I told you now, Billy. How you doing, Joey?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm fine. I sent you a little something. I sent Eddie something too on your phone. You got it yet?
Yeah, I got it. We had a good laugh.
Mm-hmm. Then I was minding my own business, and I listened to the radio. Somebody said, "Oh, he said my little thing while ago on the phone, and he's scared to call the show."
Yeah, you text me a thing in the middle of the show. I'm assuming you're chicken.
Huh? Right? Tell you what I've been doing, sir. I've been giving my Bama fans a hard time with this football thing.
Oh, okay.
That ain't hard. That's fair. And I've been trying to balance it all out. See, and you know I'm a heavyweight. I'm wrong when I bring it into with the politics stuff, and I bring it when I talk to sports. So trying to do the two at one time with these Bama fans right now, they can't handle it both too much. But what I've been really doing was sitting back listening. I learn when I listen. Okay, I've been listening to both candidates. Okay, and I saw the other night I took me a nap for a few minutes, and I woke up and I saw the individual on TV dancing and carrying on. What the hell going on? What is that guy dancing for? Playing all different music and going on. So what's up with this Trump dancing stuff, man?
The dancing's great.
Dancing machine.
I'm talking about this. He's trying to get people to vote for him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's working.
We love the. I said earlier I'm voting for him because of the dancing.
I'm observing.
If he's dancing,
I'm observing both of them closely. Now listen to what these people saying to us.
Duke, it cracked me up. He goes back to the place where he misses being shot in the head by an inch, and he starts dancing to YMCA perfectly during the turnaround of the song, shaking his hips and pumping his fist.
I saw him with it.
And I'm like, that's what a bro. Come on.
Oh man. But you know, I'm just chilling right now. I'm just, you know.
Okay.
But should I go ahead on and give Trump the crown right now? Because what I be hearing is that he already won this thing, and she's so bad that
it's still going to be, it probably is going to be close. I suspect, though, the Electoral College is not going to be close.
She's so dumb and stupid and everything, he won't debate her anymore, stuff like that, you know. But
he wanted to, but they turned that down.
Yeah, they turned that down.
No.
Want to go by his rules, not hers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
no,
shocker.
She wanted to do it either way he wanted to do it, but he's running scared still. But no, I just been listening.
Running scared by how many points? He's running scared.
So what now?
He's
how many points he up now?
He's up by how much, and he's running scared?
I haven't been paying attention. How many points he up right now?
I believe right now, if the press call it a +3, I guarantee that's double or more because all they do is downtrot Trump. That's all they've ever done. But right now, whether you like it or not,
Duke, you've also, with Trump. By being honest, you gave the game away about being honest about yourself, because I do the same thing. That when I don't want to pay attention to something, I just go pay attention to something else. So you've been talking foosball and messing with the Tide fans. It's kind of suggests that you don't want to, you don't like this trend, this big Mo going Trump's way.
No, I know what the deal is. See, I'm listening. I'm paying attention to everybody. Okay, I'm not sold on anybody 100% right now.
That's fair.
Okay, so that's why I am. To be honest. But from what I'm observed from both candidates right now, she's talking to the people better. Okay, she's selling herself better than what Trump's doing. Okay.
Oh wow, I don't know.
Well, in my opinion, that's in my opinion.
Everybody's
okay.
Opinion.
So yeah, right. So that's why I am with that part. But I'm enjoying listening to the people, different views, and everybody got their opinion. So so that's why I am. But at the end of the day, the politicians still going to line their pocket, and we still going to put them in the White House. Still going to send them there from the state of Alabama. Have the gambling bill passed yet? Have the
well, that'll be next year. No, and that's just actually Trump's win could have a big effect on the state in a lot of different ways, including
so they
races
put everything
down
on hold
in our
until they see how the major thing.
No, seriously. Like, people are kind of, there are a lot of very ambitious, talented people rising up in Alabama who are keeping their powder dry for the moment, waiting on things that could shift. And we can get into that a little later.
But yeah, it's just crazy out here right now. I'm hearing all these different lies being told. There's some lies being told right now. You know that.
I agree. This is the time of an election where everybody lies and the other side is pure evil.
So you want to pick whoever tell the best lie you would feel more comfortable with, I guess.
I want an honest BSer. Somebody like this.
There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know it? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris. Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
See. Now. I ain't gonna say what I want to say about Trump today, but yeah, I'm gonna save it for later on.
Okay.
Like I said, I can't feed these people too much. I'm being nice today, really. I'm not being pretty.
No,
nice.
you are being nice, and you proved you're not chicken. I apologize. You're a man. You called right up.
How do we know how to get to?
I ain't said nothing bad. I ain't said nothing bad about Trump today.
Okay. All right. Huh? No, that's true, but it seems like you're about to. But, so thank you for the call.
No, I gotta say something else.
Real quick. It's got to be quick. I'm done.
To all you Tide fans out there, this is football season. I ain't gonna let y'all slide because who the hell gonna whoop your ass again?
Tennessee this weekend. Tennessee.
I'm talking about the one that just played this past weekend. Who they played?
Oh, South Carolina.
South Carolina almost did.
Yeah,
Andy took him to the ER.
That what y'all deal with me right now. See.
Okay.
And we put this election thing on hold to the 5th,
Well, to that I say...
Right now, I'm going to ride y'all like long range used to ride silver, buddy.
To that I say War Eagle. I appreciate the call, Duke. I got to run.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.
272-9228. This is part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro. They're ready to help you out if it's just a checkup on that HVAC system.
Right.
'Tis the time of the year to get a checkup. You definitely want to make sure the heater's ready to go.
Definitely.
Or make sure the whole system's ready to go, running the heater at some points and then running the AC again during the middle of the day. I worry this is a false fall hitting us.
I think Richie said it's going to warm up again this weekend.
Right. So that HVAC unit is going to be running overtime. All Pro can come check it out for you. Yep. And then, of course, they also specialize in installing Generac generators. Of course, they can do a general checkup on your electrical system, but think of installing a Generac generator not only as a good idea to keep the power on when the storms roll through, but think of it as an investment in your home.
Right.
It's not just you're throwing money away. No, you're upping the value of your home and you're protecting yourself at the same time. And, of course, they offer financing with approved credit there at All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. So check them out today. You can learn more at allproheatingair.com or give them a call direct at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. And be sure to tell them you heard about them here on the radio from that Joey fella. Quick break, 30-second break. We'll come back to more calls after that.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get on the conversation. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I had to get you off speakerphone. I'm outside moving sprinklers.
How you doing,
I have
TS?
a quick question. I'm well, and thank you for taking my call. And you might not know anything about this person. Hang on. Okay. There's an independent running in. I was so ready until I came outside. Okay, there's an independent guy running for Autauga County Commission District 5, which I vote on, and his name is Henry Lanier. Do you know anything about him?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but that's not my neck of the woods, and I just don't know.
All right, I'll just Google him and figure it out. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, TS. Henry Lanier, anybody heard of him?
No.
No, I haven't.
Sounds like
either.
a Woodhouse character.
Yeah, he does. Again, 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Wasn't just Trump, by the way, that roasted the Democrats. It was, of all people, as we mentioned earlier, Jim Gaffigan, who was the comic for this event. And, well, here's the first one Gaffigan threw their way.
You know, this event has been referred to as the Catholic Met Gala. 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. You know, this...
Man, that's brutal. But I mean, it's a legitimate point. Like, she tried once to do the Trump thing on going on a podcast, and it just didn't go well.
Could you imagine her?
Oh, it didn't go well. Oh, my God.
Dude, she would get... It would be the most uncomfortable interaction.
It's tough to watch.
Yeah, it would be because I mean, God bless Joseph Rogan. He's very kind and deferent to his guests, but I can't imagine him not getting unbelievably frustrated.
Right, and I think she's toying with it or throwing it out there to get the populist name together, hers and his, but in reality, there's no way they would let her
There's
go.
not a way. I would bet everything I own that she would never go on Rogan.
But
especially now.
Gaffigan didn't just make fun of Harris. He made fun of the Democrats in general.
The Democrats have been telling us Trump's reelection is a threat to democracy. In fact, they were so concerned of this threat, they staged a coup, ousted their democratically elected incumbent, and installed Kamala Harris. In other words, all her dreams have come true. Really? It really makes you consider the power of prayer, right, Cardinal? Sometimes prayers take 3.5 years and a George Clooney op-ed.
Yeah. No, it was just, it's a terrible look for her not to be there.
Agreed. Everything she's done has been a disaster. I would worry that this would be the final pillar. That would
Honestly, it's something I said earlier. I've been saying for months now, if not years. Most of politics, especially at this point in an election, it's a Rorschach test. You got to keep that in mind. That what you feel about when you see these candidates at interviews, at events, honestly probably says more about you than it does about the candidate. The flagrant guys we're talking about it when they interviewed Trump, the stuff we played when he was on, that they got love from both the right and the left. Because, and people were just seeing what they wanted to see. It literally was the same clip in some cases. And the left's like, oh, look, they're laughing in his face. And the right are like, man, he's a bro who can hang out. So we're at this weird point where, again, people see what they want to see. The trends in general don't look good for Harris. Let's just be honest about that. There are a lot of people saying that, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened. In fact, in this very year, we'll see what happens with what? Nearly 2 weeks left?
18 days?
Yeah.
18 days, something like that? Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A man who admitted to killing 5 people in 2016 has been executed by lethal injection in Alabama. Derek Dearman was pronounced dead at Holman Prison in southern Alabama. The Texas Supreme Court halting the scheduled execution of a man who would have become the first person in the U.S. put to death for a murder conviction tied to a diagnosis of shaken baby syndrome. That ruling spared, for now, the life of Robert Robertson. In health news, U.S. health officials say whooping cough is at its highest level in a decade for this time of year. The CDC says so far this year there have been 18,500 cases of whooping cough. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. The Dow ahead 16 points. The Nasdaq up 126. This is SRN News.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold through your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word faith to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free, zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text faith to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's faith to 989898.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. This Canadian cool down will start to fade, and we're in for quite a weekend warm-up and some big-time warming next week. Sunny and nice today with a high temperature up to about 73. Clear skies, still chilly, 45 the overnight low temperature tonight. Beautiful weekend ahead with a high around 76 Saturday, 78 to 80 on Sunday. Abundant sunshine, jacket weather nights in the 40s. Still storm-free and dry for several days with 80s next week, daytime, 50s at night. Back to shorts and t-shirts weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Wet Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota. Now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories.
The prosecution has rested their case in the capital murder trial of the man charged with killing Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams. William Chase Johnson is accused of shooting and killing the sheriff at a Haynesville gas station in November 2019 after he was told to turn down his radio. The trial resumes today with the first defense witnesses. The Prattville City Council has unanimously voted to support the Autauga County ad valorem tax referendum. The 7 mil tax would collect an additional $7 million each year to help fund the Autauga County school system. The proposed constitutional amendment will appear on the November 5th general election ballot. A Montgomery woman has been sentenced for fraudulently adding her name to credit card accounts and stealing the identity of a deceased man to buy a car. 32-year-old Heaven Noretta Robinson was sentenced to 57 months in federal prison on Thursday. Robinson was also ordered to pay $33,000 in restitution to her victims. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Second hour of the program commencing. Craig Munger and Eddie Bader are still here. And I kind of want to shift gears from politics. Again, we have United States Senator Katie Britt joining us in the studio at 2:30. She's back in town for a little while. Going to talk elections, robots. Yeah, that's how Asimov says it. So I think that's the way, or Asimov says it.
Yeah, robots.
Robots.
Yeah.
So I think that's how it should be said. Humanoid robots in particular, and how the Chinese are producing a lot of them. And also, I really want to get into it with the senator. She might have perspectives that the average person doesn't. And I'm maybe thinking about writing an op-ed about it. The effect of a Trump win on Alabama directly. There's some obvious ones like Space Command could come back. Eddie brought up the whole Vulcan materials problem with Mexico. I think that gets solved pretty quick if Trump's back in there.
One phone call.
But there are probably things we don't know about with Trump back in the presidency that could really benefit Alabama directly. So plenty to get into there, but let's go away from the politics, well, pure politics. And this might break your heart, Craig, because you're a cereal guy.
I love cereal.
Well, do you want to know, apparently, the worst cereal in the United States, apparently? This is according to an ex-FDA food expert.
Worst in what context?
Like the worst for your health.
Oh, the worst for your health.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. I'll give you a hint. It's not necessarily the sweetest.
Okay. Frosted Flakes.
No, but they're one of the good ones. They're so tasty.
Yeah, they're so good.
I would
Lucky
think
Charms.
No, not even
I would
Lucky
think
Charms
Captain
with the
Crunch
mallows.
because it violently tears up your mouth every time you eat it.
Yeah, it does.
Captain Crunch too.
But but that's what he said. It was
Yeah,
like-
Captain Crunch. It violently rips up your mouth.
Yeah, but see, that's like a self-regulating diet tool because you can only eat so much.
See, I thought you said Reese's Pieces. that tears up your mouth too. Yeah.
I'm not.
Huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of it's the same consistency as Captain Crunch.
Don't have the corners though.
It can't be Fruit Loops though, can it?
It's Fruit Loop.
No.
Yes,
A leading food safety expert has branded Kellogg's Fruit Loops the worst breakfast cereal in the U.S. amid protests about the ingredients in the product. Ex-FDA food chief Dr. Darren Detweiler told the Daily Mail that the colorful rings are heavily processed and contain high levels of added sugars, artificial dyes, and preservatives, which are linked to health concerns. The morning snack contains little over 12 grams of sugar per serving, 1 cup, or 3 teaspoons, which is almost half of a child's daily allowance. Dr. Detweiler notes that most children consume a lot more than the recommended serving size, as 1 cup is not a realistic amount. That's very true. When you look at serving sizes, you're like, what are you talking about? Like,
I wish they would just say whole package. Because
yeah,
that's more realistic.
Yes, I hate that trick.
I can do the math on whole package.
Oh, Reese's peanut butter cup's only like 200 calories,
Yeah,
and
if
then
you
you're
take a half a bite.
the whole thing. Yeah, wait, yeah. But more concerning are the additives Fruit Loops contain. Detweiler said Red 40, a dye that gives the hoops their neon red color, was the most concerning. It's banned in several European countries for its link to hyperactivity and cancer, and are not present in most products internationally, such as those in Australia and Canada. That's how it's said, right?
Yep.
He says the worst offending dye in Fruit Loops is Red 40.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but see, the thing is, they don't have I've had the European version of Fruit Loops, and they taste the same. They just don't have the color.
Right.
So just get rid of the color.
Exactly.
That's what they were supposed to do, I thought.
Oh, wow. Along with campaigners, most notably actress Eva Mendes. Isn't she the one in Other Guys? Where she's Will Ferrell's wife?
Yes.
And he's just constantly belittling her?
Yes, and she's incredibly beautiful.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Fireworks on the 4th.
Yes, and on the 5th. And on the 6th.
You done?
Have to take a break on the 7th.
Hey, Eddie.
Always be closing.
All right, get your mind back in the game.
Sorry,
Be
Your mind.
closing.
I know it's distracting, all these captivating ones.
Yes.
But he continues with, how is this such a problem? They're first calling for considering reformulating the products to reduce the use of artificial additives, dyes, and high sugar levels. With concerns growing about the long-term health effects of processed ingredients, especially those linked to cancer risk, like certain food dyes, Kellogg's has the opportunity to lead in healthier food production. By focusing on cleaner ingredients and transparency, they can address consumer concerns and shift towards healthier, more sustainable food options. Some of the other cereals Dr. Detweiler recommends steering clear of are Lucky Charms, for its high sugar content, and artificial colors. That one's kind of obvious. Not only is it marshmallows in there, they're like dyed, painted marshmallows.
And you can buy just the marshmallows.
Right, and they almost taste. It's like biting into
Almost
styrofoam.
foamy.
Yeah, it's
Dehydrated foamy.
like some things just make common sense. And Frosted Flakes, you guessed it earlier.
They're delicious. They're just the Kellogg's, the regular Kellogg's with sugar all over them, right?
But these cereals may also contain food dyes linked to potential health risks, which is a concern when consumed frequently, especially by children. With all of these cereals, Dr. Detweiler says they should only be considered occasional treats, most definitely not consumed on a daily basis. Now, I don't eat cereal. I'm more of a bacon and eggs guy.
Yeah, we know.
As we've established.
Yeah,
but y'all are
I'm
still
a guy
cereal
who was raised
people?
on cereal and probably ate cereal up into my mid-40s until I quit drinking a gallon of milk a week and started losing weight. Wow.
I like cereal as like a topping on frozen yogurt or ice cream.
Okay, well, that's
I like it with
awesome.
milk. I like reaching my hand in the bag, just getting a handful of cereal.
Yeah. No, you're going to put some like Cinnamon Toast Crunch on some vanilla ice cream?
No, that sounds delicious.
That sounds awesome.
It really
I
does sound good.
like-
I'd probably smash it all up and let it melt a little bit and make cereal.
So, but a lot of this stuff does make common sense when you think about it.
But unless they're forced to do it.
Right.
Which is sad. I mean, you're killing your own people. You are
Right.
literally killing your own people.
Yeah, when I was starting every morning with a 20-ounce Red Bull and like 2 oatmeal cream pies, that's a 12-ounce. seriously, I've downregulated. I'm still high. I'm still a caffeine fiend.
No, that's fine.
Those oatmeal cream pies or something.
Yeah, they are.
They're so good.
They're so good.
But
really
you
are.
know when you're doing it that it's not good for you.
Yeah.
Come on.
And usually about an hour later, you kind of are reminded because I get slow and sluggish after I eat crap like that.
Right.
I go, oh yeah, this is why I'm not supposed to eat that.
Yeah.
Right. And but it tastes so good.
It does.
And you do get a little bit of a high from it,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
you get
sugar
that sugar
high,
high,
like
baby.
for a little while. And you know what? Sometimes high sugar stuff, you're in the middle of weightlifting and something. I need a little extra.
Well, hey, you know,
Like,
you
it
know how
works.
I gets down. Like I'm dieting currently, losing weight regular, but every Saturday I load
That's your
up.
cheat day,
I
right?
load up on
Nice.
the carbs. It's very intentional, and
Yeah.
it takes a significant amount of discipline. But
I do that before leg day now.
yeah, it's good. There's nothing. The pumps after a nice high carb sugary thing. It's just there's nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would shock you the amount of food that I because we went to that the pumpkin patch this past Saturday, and I realized I'd never had a fried Oreo, and so they were fantastic.
Thank you.
Same with the funnel cake. I hadn't had funnel cake in probably a decade. I was like, it's so good.
It really is
So I
good.
had like 2 burgers, some funnel cake, some fried Oreos, 2 orders of fries, 1 order of chili cheese fries, and that was 1 meal.
But I'll be honest, if I see Craig walking around a festival like that, in that kind of condition his body's in, and he's stuffing his face with fried Oreos
Yeah.
and crap, I'm pissed. I'm going to have a conversation with this fella. What are you on? I need to be on your diet. How are you doing?
I'm sure people are. I think people will start confusing you with the guy who's on that most greatest food show ever.
Yeah, the man versus
Beard
beard.
versus
Yeah,
food? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that guy. Man,
That
he
guy's
can put it away.
insane.
Oh, hold on.
It's so funny because like you ate 15 pounds worth of food, and the people are blown away, and then he'll ask them, "Do you have dessert?" And they're just like,
Yeah.
"What? Yeah, could you give me a big piece of peanut butter pie?"
The problem is I can't watch that guy when I'm dieting because like if
Tempting?
I'm like full of food and I'm trying to grow,
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of eating. I can watch that stuff all day. When I'm hungry, I'm just like,
Makes it worse.
it's sort of disgusting whenever I'm nice and full of food. But when I'm hungry watching, I'm like, I want to do this every day of my life.
No, this is the guy I'm thinking of. Best ever food review show.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah. Like, I think y'all could be
Oh yeah,
pretty
Seen that guy.
close, man.
Camel. I've had camel.
He's unique.
No, his show's great too. He's been all over the world. I think he snuck into South Korea without a visa, and was able to make money
into
teaching
South Korea?
English
Really?
under the table for cash. And the way he was able to stay is he would do a train trip to the south and go into this tiny Japanese island, get his passport
okay,
stamp,
okay.
come back.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And then he found a Korean wife, like, and now he lives in I think Thailand, and he has one of the biggest shows in the world now.
Dude, a lot of Americans are moving to Thailand.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
There's Australia, Europeans too. It's like
Cost of living.
apparently if you make like just like low middle class wages, if you make the equivalent in America and you take that to Thailand, you could live pretty
Dude, they-
dang well.
They did show one of the apartments there. It's like on the 10th floor. Now you were in the middle of the city, but it was gorgeous. $400 a month.
Yeah.
$400 a month.
That's not bad, man.
Dude, it was a 2-bedroom, beautiful apartment.
And that's what's so weird about
Just like-
Thailand.
No, I'm sorry. Eddie just went into
Always be closing.
Come on, I think we should get a timeshare in Thailand, Eddie and I. Just
I'm down,
switch it.
dude. I watched so many of those videos like that because it's so much, I don't know why, but so much cheaper cost of living
Yeah.
over there. And you're right. People are going there like crazy because they're like, I can stay here in America. I can struggle 3 weeks out of a month, wait for my government check. You know, I'm retired. Or I can go there and live a very happy life, eat out 6 nights a week, do what I want to do and be perfectly fine.
Yeah, or if you're able, if you make your money like on a computer, if you're like
Exactly, I can
investing or some sort of something where you can do it remotely.
Yeah.
Then there's plenty of people that do that right now. But and the thing about Thailand is there's plenty of debauchery, obviously.
Oh, sure.
But they also have relatively low crime.
Yep.
Like depending on where you go, because the police they don't mess around. So you can party, you
go
can
to
have a
jail.
good time, but if you cross this line,
Yep.
See-
they will wreck you.
There's some people who just, like George Santos. He should have just moved to
He
Thailand.
really should have.
He would have done very well.
You would have
there.
done very well.
He'd have been living like a king.
Yep.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Boomer T, what's up, guys?
Hey, Boomer T.
Man, let me tell you about the craziest cereal out there on the market today.
Okay.
I saw it yesterday when I was in Aldi's. It is pumpkin spice Cheerios. Did you dig that? I mean, let me tell you something. They got a whole.
I'm not a basic white woman. Or 40.
I mean, I can't look now. My wife loves that pumpkin spice, and she drinks his coffee creamer. But could you imagine sitting down in the morning time and giving little Johnny a bowl of daggum flakes like that, some cereal with some pumpkin spice on it? That would be crazy.
I'm just sick of the pumpkin spice thing.
I am too,
love,
brother, I am.
love because my wife grows pumpkins and we make things out of pumpkin. It's a great filler, like an oatmeal. It gives it a little bit more volume. And we also made some chocolate chip pumpkin bread this last Sunday, and it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, man, I love it. Yes, that's
But
very
that
good.
artificial pumpkin stuff, it's for the birds.
Let me tell you something, that right there. But everything now is, you got a whole section in there, like 2 whole rows of pumpkin spice. I just don't see how people could sit down and eat that, though. But, if you're going to eat, Joey, I mean, Ed, like you said, I mean, I'm 62, you're, close to it.
55.
And, but we grew. Look at all the sugars and all the cereal that we ate in the 60s and 70s and 80s. I mean, we're still here. I mean, our blood pressure is. I'm in great shape, and I mean, you just. And we sit there and eat literally a box of cereal for breakfast, watching the cartoons.
Yep,
though.
that's what we did.
Anyway,
It is a mystery. Some folks are just resilient to this stuff. Other folks are hypersensitive to it.
Yeah, but also I think there was some genomic changes that happened due to that eating, which is why the following generation was so screwed. Yeah.
But you know what, though? I will say one thing, but let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a reason. You think about what I'm saying. From 1978 to, I say, the 1992, 94, people were not overweight because on Friday afternoon, start off on Wednesday, you get off work, you go somewhere and have a cocktail, and you dance your night away. Thursday night, you do the same thing. Friday and Saturday night, you would just go out every night dancing and dancing and dancing. They've got a place up here in Wetumpka up here. I won't mention the name of it, but it's a little place up here where everybody's going now. When you walk in there, all the lights are on, and they're playing this boom, 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 boom music, and nobody's dancing. Everybody's sitting at tables with their telephones, or if they are dancing, they're line dancing with a telephone. There's no more, tell me where you can just go and just throw down, and just dance your ass off like you used to do, and that's what kept us so able to eat all we wanted to go. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great weekend. We thoroughly enjoy the show up here on I heard what you said. I ain't said a word, boy. Watch your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't see. I don't know. But anyway, guys, y'all have it's beautiful both of Lakes and Daryl Jordan. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Thank y'all for taking my call. And, hey, tomorrow, Alabama, good luck. Auburn, good luck. I need it, baby. I'm pulling up still. I've been a Tigers to 77 to 76. I'm going to continue being one, though. But, guys, y'all have a safe time. Enjoy yourself, and God bless America, y'all. And keep on keeping on trumping, baby.
Thanks, Boomer T.
Sweating to death at a discotheque while high on cocaine does do well for keeping you skinny.
Oh, yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to, you could be just like Bud Heavy. Like, it could just be Budweiser at the discotheque. Wait, did we even have discotheques in the South?
I remember a club growing up, and oh boy, you're going to love this, in Highland Gardens. It was a youth club. It was called Thrashers or something.
It was a youth club called Thrashers.
Yeah, it was just a dance club. I think it had pool
dance
tables.
club.
Yeah,
what would you do there?
We go cut the rug.
Mm-hmm.
It had pool tables, things like that. It was cool.
Were there like poles and stuff?
No, this was before pole dance.
Scarves?
But I'm trying to think when we got older, high school. Yeah, I do remember some clubs.
And they were kind of that disco Studio 54 thing.
Yeah, but it was high school, so there was no drinking. They had actual teen dance clubs.
Teen dance.
But did you see? Were there some fatties though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See?
Oh, fatties like to dance too.
Yeah. They do. See, that's the thing. Like, I think that there's an important conversation going off, and obviously the means, the Casey and Callie, is that their name? Means.
Yeah.
I think they're offering some good. They're saying good things,
right?
But it's really annoying to me that people are like demonizing ingredients, and there are some ingredients that need to be demonized to a certain extent. However, the problem is just fundamentally this: people are hedonistic.
Yes.
And they want to eat tasty food 24/7. Like, there's not a person in the world that doesn't know that a bowl of rice, chicken, and peas and carrots like a stir fry is infinitely better for you than a couple packets of Pop-Tarts, but they choose one over the other because it just tastes so good.
And convenience. I can get my Pop-Tart.
Eddie, what's your Pop-Tart?
They don't make it anymore. Chocolate fudge.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, they don't make it anymore.
I don't like Pop-Tarts, but he's right. Those are the best
ones,
yeah.
and they got rid of them. They tried to replace them with the cookies and cream, and it's crap.
Is it just me, or are the borders of the Pop-Tarts getting bigger?
They need to put. That's the problem with Pop-Tarts. Icing needs to go cover to cover.
Correct.
There needs to be no pastry seen.
But the pastry bit is getting bigger. Thank you, Kamala.
I can save a little bit of money. You know.
I've been eating protein Pop-Tarts.
Mm.
Actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Best. I tried a bunch of different protein bars, and they're usually not good. These taste like Pop-Tarts.
I've been meaning to get them. I got an order of donuts coming in from a place called the Gaines Bakery.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to see it. It's just brother.
You got donuts being mailed to you?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that's an option.
Yeah, it was $40 for a dozen. So I was curious.
I can do that. I can do that. I mean, they're coming to me.
Yeah, but the but the thing is, I've been making these protein pancakes.
Ooh.
You use some rice.
I'm kind of worried you're ruining my pancakes, man.
Bro. No, they're actually technically. I make them like crepes. I get them real thin and roll them around, and I fill them with some almond butter and jelly, and then hit them with some fruit on top or whatever. Just so good.
Sugar.
Are you sure those pancakes are crepes?
What now?
Crepes.
No, I said they're crepes.
Yeah.
I've made them both ways because the difference
okay.
between a crepe and a pancake is really just how thin you spread them.
Yep, that's true.
And so it's those are good, real good.
Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. See, isn't it nice to take a break from politics? And they're at Pest Pro Services. Ashley and the team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. And, they're ready on an emergency notice,
That's
too.
right.
Best to get to know them, make them your everyday pest control company. Just call them up at 265-9990. But you've experienced firsthand, Eddie, where, there are ants in the kitchen. We got a showing today, right?
Sure did. Had Airbnb guests actually at the house. And had ants in the kitchen, and they called me, and literally within an hour or so, Pest Pro was there taking care of it.
That's
and of course, to my guests, I look like the hero.
Right?
They're great folks over there. And if you go to their webpage now or their Facebook page, you'll see their Halloween themed thing. They say basically, don't let your house look spooky, and it's got spider webs and all that everywhere. And I'll be honest, I showed a house this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Every corner of the house had spider webs.
When I lived in Forest Hills, I didn't know about Pest Pro, and I was at war with these what were Halloween spiders. Essentially, they weren't big, but they constantly were making webs.
Yeah, and nobody wants that in their house.
All right, so call Pest Pro today. That number 265-9990, or go to ppsriverregion.com, or as Eddie suggested, just go to the Book of Faces. Type in Pest Pro Services. You can learn a lot more about them, especially how they give back to the community as well. I really love how she highlights local athletics in particular. And, when you call them up, be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Twister Jones. How are you guys this afternoon?
I'm all right. How are you, Twister Jones?
Hey, doing real good. I was reminiscing a little bit there when Boomer T called in, mentioning where we used to go out and and dance our rear ends off all night. And I was going to mention a place that probably I think most of you guys have heard of back in the day was Steve's Disco in Prattville.
Yep. Boomer T just sent me that.
Steve's Disco.
Yep. I knew Boomer T when he was Larry S.
Calling him out.
If he knew my name, we could tell some tales on each other. But yeah, those were the good old days. I'm not kidding. Steve's Disco didn't serve any alcohol. It was set up with where one of the few places that had the entire floor would blink and lights and everything a kid could ask for. And it was awesome. But there was a few places back then that were real popular, and Adams in Montgomery, Speakeasy. There were quite a few places, but the kids don't do that anymore. They've just gotten into these phones. Has just been the killer of everything, like Walmart did to the mom and pop stores.
Yeah,
But
the day the dancing died. Though there is a huge culture of big, festival concerts and stuff and EDM
yeah,
stuff.
that took it over.
But yeah, there isn't the local joints anymore.
No, too much gangs and things like that they're not out to have fun anymore. They want to try to stir up as much trouble to try to get attention instead of being the best Michael Jackson imitator.
See, I know you're making a serious point, and I agree, but now I'm just thinking of West Side Story, and that would dance-offs. That would be good. Sing-offs as well.
Oh, yeah.
When you're a jet... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, please don't.
That's right. Well, okay. Well, I'll let you guys go. I just that just brought back some memories that I'm sure Boomer T could relate to, and it's just real nice having those memories.
It is,
and I appreciate it.
Thank you,
you
man.
guys for having a great show, man.
Appreciate
Keep it up.
Twister Jones, I like that handle.
I think Twister Jones thinks we should talk more about cereal.
Yeah,
mainly just because
and
I'm hungry
dancing
right now.
Like old places.
Imagine that would be a great spot, like cereal and dancing. That's it.
Yeah.
Like all you do is eat cereal and you dance. Maybe there's like a roller rink on one side where you can. Isn't that funny? Nobody roller skates anymore. Those used to be a big deal even when I was a kid. You would go roller skating.
We got a pretty good one. They're redoing it.
I was dancing a little bit this morning. It happens, you're working out. There was nobody in the room where I'm lifting, and literally Billy Idol's EP version of Dancing with Myself came on, and it might have been in between, bench press. You not crazy. Not crazy. I'm not twirling around like Eddie over here.
Yeah.
Well, I am waiting for that because most houses now have cameras in them, and as a realtor, I go in there before everybody get there. And when I find a good house, I'm laughing, carrying on, and I'm sure there's some videos of out there. Probably me dancing, doing a little singing.
No, it is fun too. Well, you got earbuds in, you're working out. What people like? Guess what I'm listening to?
Yeah. Hey, dude,
you're not gonna guess it.
I've had that same thought so many times because it will literally, just depending on how the mood strikes me, in the same workout on the same day, I could either be listening to Russian death metal or the soundtrack from the live action Beauty and the Beast.
I could tell
that happened this morning. And
this
I just
morning,
chuckled to myself thinking, man, these people just have no clue.
This morning it went from John Five's Ghost, which is this heavy guitar music, Paul Gilbert's Fuzz Universe, and then the long version of Diamonds and Pearls. And it was kind of perfect. It was like as I was coming down just sitting in the sauna, I'm like, okay, and ballad, all right. I can work with that.
I was singing Eurythmics No More I Love You. So I guess
Yeah.
we're all on different pages, aren't we?
Oh,
now that's a deep
dude,
cut.
It is.
Tom
It's a good
Jones.
one.
I was this morning. Tom Jones. I'm never gonna fall in love again.
Oh.
Boy, that man has some pipes.
Yeah, he does.
Delilah. Who's in a bad mood when Delilah comes on? Nobody.
more.
No,
Nobody.
not anymore. Yeah,
It's a great song.
it's like when somebody's got a broken heart and you bring them milk and cookies. Same thing.
Heart's broken.
No, it's not. Your stomach's broken.
Yeah, where's the food? You had the bag of candy last week.
I got it over here,
Oh,
man, but
okay.
I didn't want to torture you this
That's all
week.
right.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hello, guys. It's Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne, what's up, bud?
Hey, you guys are talking about discos, and though I was not a frequenter, take your mind to the Atlanta Highway, and right now there's a body shop called, I had the name and I forgot, but it's huge, Chico's.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, there was a grocery store there that represented the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company, an A&P.
A&P.
And when it closed down, someone made it a disco, and it was called the Supermarket.
Wow.
And it was incredibly popular during its time.
The supermarket.
Why did discos always have the dumbest names, by the way?
Catchy. Said to go with something catchy, I reckon.
That was followed by Senior Frog.
Yes.
So, and if I'm not mistaken, when Senior Frog was there, they had split the building, and half of it was a country bar, and the other was Senior Frog.
Couldn't do any good on the country side. Let's go see how the rock girls.
It's gonna be
are
like
doing
like the end of Blazing Saddles. It's you break through the wall. We got a real dance off going on.
Oh yeah.
That's great. All right, guys. Thought I'd just bring that up.
That's a good one,
Maybe
Wayne.
Somebody remembers it.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. They're at Clearwater's Reed Waters, and the team are ready to help you with, well, tree removal, tree trimming, and stump grinding. You tired of that eyesore? That's an ugly stump.
Sure is.
It's not just an eyesore. It's attracting all sorts of, well, critters and pests that you don't want to be attracting to your property. So get rid of it. Clearwater's has your back in that regard. Tree trimming could be branches overhanging the house or ones that slap the siding of the house every time the
Constantly
wind
wearing on it, yeah.
picks up, or it could be line of sight issues, or every time you pull out your driveway, you're hitting branches. Like, they can get rid of a lot of that stuff. And then it could be you already had a tree that's fallen on your property, or you got one you're worried about. Like, I got a leaner.
Nobody wants that.
Or I got one that's just very tall and not sturdy. It's swaying 8 to 10 feet every time the wind blows. Clearwater's Property Management has your back in all these ways. Call them today at 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. This Canadian cool down will start to fade, and we're in for quite a weekend warm-up and some big-time warming next week. Sunny and nice today with a high temperature up to about 73. Clear skies, still chilly, 45 the overnight low temperature tonight. Beautiful weekend ahead with a high around 76 Saturday, 78 to 80 on Sunday. Abundant sunshine, jacket weather nights in the 40s. Still storm-free and dry for several days with 80s next week daytime, 50s at night. Back to shorts and t-shirts weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Fella on Twitter named Going Nowhere. One day I'll learn your real name, sir. He just messaged me some more ancient Montgomery dance clubs. Paradise Theater.
Oh, yeah. All right.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Any memories? Ones you want to share?
Not really. I think I got kicked out of there.
JT's.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember JT's.
Oh, he had a real realization right there.
Yeah, it's just, good places to go back in the day.
Hojohn's.
Never went there.
Never went to Hojohn's?
Went by there a few times.
What?
By there? Drove by?
You drove by there. Why didn't you ever go in? What was the reputation?
I was like 13, 14 years old. It was on the way to Maxwell where my dad would work. So.
Okay. Because he said in parentheses here, you'll get some laughable content from this one. Hojohn's.
Hojohn's was, as far as I know, was the first gay bar in Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and literally, I was 10, 12 years old. I remember that.
Not the last one.
So, certainly
Adam
not.
and Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went to a gay bar in Montgomery. It was a house essentially. It was like a duplex that they turned into a bar.
Yeah, I like the place.
Oh, you know it?
Oh yeah, and I've
had a room there?
dinner with the owner.
Oh, is it still
good
there?
deal.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good people, actually.
And then is that tranny bar still doing its thing?
322?
Yeah.
No, that place shut down.
That was-
As did Love Shack.
That was
and
I went to 322 once. It was
I was dragged there
debaucherous.
once, and there was literally a drag show.
Same
going
here.
on.
I saw the same
And it
show.
was, it's fine. Actually, know what?
It wasn't. The main star told me about an arrest, and they had scars and scratches. It was very uncomfortable for everyone involved.
See, mine was a little more like the person who brought me there. We were there early because she knew the owner, and I see her walk all the way back, so I'm just following her. And when I go through the threshold of the door she went through, it's like the dressing room. And it wasn't like anything inappropriate, but it was like
odd.
Like, hey boys, how you doing? But yeah, it's once or twice. I'm like, it's enough. It's a party. It's like whatever.
Well, the thing is, I got dragged there. I was bar hopping with an individual, and and so I didn't know what I was in for. And I just showed up, and I was at that point in my life, debauchery was just part of my lifestyle. And even then, I was like, I should probably get out of here, right? Because it was like, because there were some people there having a good time, but then there was a couple guys sitting in the back, slightly older, had wedding rings, sitting in the dark, and there was a macabreness to it.
I just haven't been to the bars in a while.
I mean, this was like a decade ago, mind you. So
yeah, like even when I was drinking heavy in my 20s and having fun, I mean, Alley Bar's a meat market. I mean, it was the Air Force scene, and it just.
But seriously, I mean, who wants to go to a bar? I never understood that. I've only been out to bars a handful of times. It was like I don't want to spend $300 a night.
Right.
To just go and be hot and uncomfortable.
Well, I'll give shout outs to like the Cloverdale area, like Leroy's and Dino's now. Pretty, small spots, but it's usually a pretty intimate crowd. Everybody knows each other. And I'm not necessarily knocking Alley Bar, Aviator, or all those others down there. I wish y'all well. Hope you're doing good business. We need more activity in Montgomery, but I think those days for me are kind of past. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
I just dance with myself. Let's go to Paul. Hey, Paul.
Well, hello.
How you doing?
Y'all starting to make me feel like Red Top.
Yeah?
And who's letting Eddie Three Pies answer the phone? I know, because y'all was going to get long-winded after the break. So that's what it was. Y'all wasn't going to answer the phone. So you put Eddie Three Pies up to it.
He's just mad because I gave him some bad news. You got to take his car to the shop. And I said, they will charge you for that. They're not going to do it for free. Okay, I thought I was giving him a heads
There
up.
you
Bring
go.
your checkbook.
There you go again, 83 pies. Messing with my money. y'all talking about the cereals and stuff, though.
Mhm.
Now, before cartoon days, there wasn't a whole lot of real good cereals around. Of course, you got to remember, I'm a little bit over 70.
Kaboom.
So-
You had Kaboom, didn't you? That was like the
Yeah,
first sugar
absolutely.
cereal I remember with marshmallows and colors. I'm sure it was probably cancer.
They come out at the same time as Colon Blow?
No, this came out probably early 60s, I would guess. 65, 67.
You had to have a parent that was willing to buy it.
That's another thing, too.
It was grits and eggs. No, you're not getting none of that.
Right.
But then learn to love biscuits and gravy and tomato gravy and red-eye gravy.
Tomato
Of course, that was
gravy.
always better.
Like
Or
marinara?
tomato.
Not really, but it's good.
On what? What would you put it on?
You can put it on breakfast.
Biscuits.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's quite tasty.
What's wrong with just a regular white roux gravy like a normal person?
Sometimes people like to. Some people like truffles and things like that. Other people like red-eye gravy.
Well, you do you, boo-boo.
There you go.
Yeah. But, hey, later on, as I got up toward the party years, roll your own out of the plastic bag. We'd sit around and put those sweet cereals in a cup, be listening to music or watching something on the tube and just shaking out a cup. And y'all talking about disco, now that brings back a lot of disco music. There was some that I didn't care for, and there was some you could really get up, shake your booty to. But then through the mid-60s and 70s, now we still had some rock and roll that you could actually dance to. Yeah.
Such
You
as?
dance your booty, y'all. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm hearing crackling in the background, so I know I'm getting in a bad area. So
Okay.
enjoying the show when I can hear of it down here in the country.
Thank you,
care,
Paul.
Paul.
Good
Have a
to hear from you,
fantastic
man.
Weekend.
You
Have
too.
a great weekend, Paul.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Charles. How you boys doing today?
Doing good, Charles. How you doing?
Doing great. Off for the weekend. I was going to tell
Nice.
you a little story. When I was younger, I was trying to dodge the law, and I'm 53 now. This is when I was a kid. This is before my pardon and all this stuff. So I asked my cousin. I asked her. I said, "Can I come to Oregon and stay with you?" And she's like, "Yeah, come on." So I jumped on the Greyhound bus, buddy, and went to Oregon. And she was whatever they called married at the time, you know, because you couldn't actually get married at that time in Oregon. I think you can now if you're gay.
Oh.
And she took me out to this place, had this huge steer on the front of it, and it was this gay club. Man, when I tell you those folks party, I'm talking they were having a what is it, a drag show or what, where they dress up like women and get up there and perform, and then the judges and stuff. Anyway, I was sitting there for a little while, had a few drinks. I was like, God, I got to go to the bathroom. And my cousin, she goes, well, go. I was like, nope. Every time I get near the door, my butt cheeks tighten up. I said, I ain't going in there. And all the guys sitting there started laughing. They said, let me tell you something. He said, every one of us knows that you're straight. And I said, how do you know I'm straight? And they're like, the way you act, the way you talk, everything, the way you look. We know. Anyway, I went on to the bathroom and stuff, but I had a lot of fun that night.
Yeah.
And that was the other gentleman you're with. That was back in, I want to say, 88, 89. And it was somewhere in there, 1989, something like that. But, yeah, they and a lot of good people. I mean, you know, some of the people I even know today, they're sick of all the mess that's going on, whatever that long word is they give for themselves, LGBTQ or whatever.
Yeah.
They just want to live their lives and don't have no issues. Now, biblically, now that I've matured some with that, I know it's not the right course of life, but I don't judge, because Lord forbid, I don't want somebody to judge me. So, Lord, I'd be sure enough the one to have. But but I was just getting in the conversation. We used to have a really, really good time. Now, you might, if you're a straight, good-looking white guy, you might end up with a stack of hair salon cards by the time you leave. But but I had one walk up to him. He said, I know. He said, baby, I know your gate only swings one way, but if you ever decide for your gate to swing both ways, here's my card. And I was like, Lord forbid. And my cousin just laughing her butt off. But anyway.
Well, happy to bring back the memories, Charles.
Yeah. Y'all have a good one.
You too, Charles. Thanks, man.
272-9228. This entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Of course, they can help you if you're looking to do a home purchase. It could be just move to the area. If you're looking for a local, trusted mortgage company that gets the job done well, no surprises on closing day, and, they get it done quick. The turnaround time is amazing. That's Alabama Home Mortgage. And, of course, they lately have been doing a lot of refinance deals for folks with, interest rates have changed some. It could be you're sitting on the fence waiting. It is worth at least a conversation with Kim and Madeline there at Alabama Home Mortgage to see if they can find the right deal for you. And if you're a veteran, they have even better special deals that you should be taking advantage of. But you need to call the pros there at Alabama Home Mortgage. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender. Quick break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Want to take the price of new flooring and tear it in half? You can during Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, going on right now. Save 50% on select luxury vinyl plank and select carpets in stock. Stop into the store to register to win a brand new quartz countertop up to 75 feet until November 20th. No purchase necessary.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Shop now and save big at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm great. So what's the score there at Cohen's today?
It's 21-3. I'll tell you, we went to Auburn today, and we had a nice lady that has been a long-time customer, but we took one TV out of her job, or out of her office, and we took that home, put that on her patio, got it all hooked up. She thought it was going to be a little too big, but her employees and her family assured her that it was not too big. So anyway, Michael Jackson got out there, got it all done, got all of her remotes programmed, got it online, and it's all good. And you know, that's the. I was thinking about it the other day. I'm amazed, constantly amazed, at how many customers just call us and we send stuff out. And, you know, we ask them questions, they ask us questions, we make recommendations, we send stuff out. I had another lady that we sent a washer and dryer out to her mom. And, you know, I get a thumbs up from the customer. I get my delivery guy sends us a picture of it installed, and he's done everything he's supposed to do. Customers happy. There's so much confidence. We're really blessed to have the customers that we have, and we're just thankful.
Well, and folks, if you aren't a customer of Cohen's, you need to be. It's a tradition here in Montgomery, because it's not just the great products. It really is the service, like Michael was saying. It's been decades, right? What, 60 plus years?
Like 67.
Gotta love it. True
I'm
institution.
probably twice as old as you. But.
True institution here in Montgomery. So y'all check them out today. You can shop online at thinkcohens.com. Good way to window shop, but there's nothing like actually stopping by, getting to know these folks, see these products. Yeah, for instance, if you're going to look at a 98-inch TV, you don't want to look at it on your computer screen. You want to see that thing in person. And then, of course, you get to know the team there. Again, that's 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael and tell him, hey, I heard you on the radio with that Joey fella.
Fantastic. Y'all have a great weekend. Come see us.
Thanks, Michael. So, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. A quick thing, moving back to politics. Mm-hmm. It's a short thing, though. You know who my rival is? My least favorite person on Fox News?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Who is it?
Well, I don't like to say his name because other people call him.
Say it. No, say it.
Sean Hannity.
No,
Nope.
He's my adopted godfather.
He
It
was
was a
supposed
mistake.
to come here to Montgomery and didn't come, but I think because Joey...
What?
He didn't
Wasn't
he not
me.
show?
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't me.
He kind of put the negative out there, and all of a sudden his show got canceled and didn't sell enough tickets, whatever.
Well, I'm not a fan of Brian Kilmeade, all right?
Kill me.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No, and I've been trying not to see any clips with him.
Right.
Because I get
You
going.
get triggered.
Yes, I get triggered. I'm as unhinged as somebody on the left after Trump wins.
Oh.
Like, I killed me. Yes. Well, I'm going to try to tolerate this because this is an example not of Kilmeade. This is an example of Trump being on Fox and Friends.
Oh.
And what is the deal with Fox News pushing Nikki Haley? They can't
never understand
shut
that,
up.
Joey.
She's like on every other segment. Well, listen to her Sirius XM show. You've got Donald Trump, who's got the big mo, as we established earlier today. And you ask him this? You ask him about Nikki Haley?
There's a segment of the Republican Party that likes Nikki Haley, and they are reluctant to jump into your column. She wants to help. She said, if he calls me, I'm there. You guys used to be tight. In the last 18 days, will you call her and say, come out with me?
Yeah, I'll do what I have to do. But let me just tell you, Nikki Haley and I fought, and I beat her by 50, 60, 90 points. Yep. I beat her in her own state by numbers that nobody's ever been beaten by. I beat Nikki badly. I beat everyone else, too, badly.
See, I love Trump because, like, what segment of the Republican Party? Oh, wait, the folks who are kind of loyally moderate watching Fox.
Yeah, the ones that are now endorsing Kamala.
Right. Like, give me a break, man. And, like, I just find that there is still trouble in paradise on the Republican side. For instance, I think Ted Cruz came out on Glenn Beck's show. I think Mike Lee did the same thing on Laura Ingram's show, is how much Mitch McConnell is not helping. Mitch McConnell hasn't spent a dime helping out Ted Cruz.
Nope.
And Cruz said it outright. He said he uses that pot of money to help people that, do what he wants and to, leave other people out to dry when they go their own way. And maybe that's how the game is played. But when Cruz is in a heck of a fight in Texas, and many other, not just senators, but House members are in a heck of a fight, and you need these majorities with Trump coming in, it just shows you that, no, not everybody is necessarily on the same team. There are some folks think, no, it's my team.
Yep.
And I would rather it be my team, even in the minority, than anybody else's team, and to lose control of the situation. It's an ugly side of politics, but it's real. And so I don't think we find any surprise that Mitch McConnell is no friend, but you at least, why don't y'all give an inch once?
No.
All you folks are like, you should have picked Nikki Haley for VP. Why can't y'all come to us once?
Or just give me a redeeming quality of Nikki Haley. because I never found one.
She's the Kamala Harris of the
Thank you.
GOP.
Thank you.
It's like she sucked in the primaries. Like what?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, and did you see somebody confronted Vivek Ramaswamy like, you're hiding your Hindu faith, which he kind of, his first was like, really? The guy came in with really negative, like nasty, like, I'm going to get you, Vivek.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, really? Sir, I could have run as Vic Ram and declared myself a Christian, but I didn't. And I'm like, ooh, that is a certain shot at a certain someone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's just, again, remember, there's a certain aspect of the GOP where you're like, man, we're not on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott, the Emergency Management Chief of the Florida county where Hurricane Milton made landfall earlier this month, warned about reports of scammers in the area who are posing as Federal Emergency Management Agency officials and trying to get financial information from the storm's victims. CVS Health CEO Karen Lynch has stepped down and will be replaced by veteran CVS Health executive David Joyner. South Korea's spy agency says North Korea has dispatched troops to support Russia's war against Ukraine. If confirmed, it would bring a third country into that war and intensify a standoff between North Korea and the West. Stocks are higher, the Dow up 70 points, the NASDAQ Composite up 138. This is SRN News.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold through your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word faith to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free, zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text faith to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's faith to 989898.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. This Canadian cool down will start to fade, and we're in for quite a weekend warm-up and some big-time warming next week. Sunny and nice today with a high temperature up to about 73. Clear skies, still chilly, 45 the overnight low temperature tonight. Beautiful weekend ahead with a high around 76 Saturday, 78 to 80 on Sunday. Abundant sunshine, jacket weather nights in the 40s. Still storm-free and dry for several days with 80s next week daytime, 50s at night. Back to shorts and t-shirts weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville is now saying that Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris is acting like a crazy ex-girlfriend. The comment from Tuberville comes after Harris talked mostly about her loathing of Donald Trump rather than clarifying her presidential policy during an interview that happened earlier this week. Harris was on Fox News with Brett Baer. Tuberville spoke with Larry Kudlow on Fox Business shortly after that interview.
She came across last night as a crazy ex-girlfriend. And the only thing that we learned was how absolutely obsessed she was with Donald Trump. There was no policies. I listened to everything she said about immigration. I've been going through all this for 4 years in the Senate and listened to all these lies and things that they supposedly have done. There wasn't one true thing she said about immigration, and I think she's just totally out of touch.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
On November 15th, you can have dinner with Eric Metaxas right here in Alabama. Metaxas, the author of Bonhoeffer and Letter to the American Church, will keynote 1819 News' first annual Albert Patterson Gala on November 15th at the Barber Motorsports Event Center in Birmingham. To learn more and sponsor a table, visit 1819news.com/gala. Again, that's Eric Metaxas on November 15th. Go to 1819news.com/gala to learn more.
A Birmingham judge has set bond at $1 million for a man arrested this week for the 5 Points South mass shooting that occurred in September. 22-year-old Damian McDaniel is also being charged for 2 other shootings that occurred in that city and left other fatalities. Those shootings occurred within a span of a few days back in September. McDaniel is facing 25 charges, ranging from capital murder to attempted murder. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it. The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Phyllis, who's been patient. Hey, Phyllis.
Hey, good afternoon, y'all. 2 things. First off, about the breakfast caller. Breakfast for me growing up was chocolate gravy and biscuits.
Ooh.
And now that was fabulous. You could feed a yard full of youngins with a big old pot of gravy and biscuits. But for a more local thing, I don't know if y'all were aware, but there was a retired officer from Prattville Police Department that recently passed away. They're having his funeral today, and it is at a new East Memorial Baptist Church on 14, and they are going to be having traffic blocked any time now. So if y'all are going to be on 14 going towards Domino's from Millbrook, find a different way.
Well, I appreciate you telling everybody
Thank
that,
you.
Phyllis.
Yeah.
Really do. And I'm now hungry, thanks to you and all these other callers.
Well, maybe one day I'll make you up a pot of biscuits and chocolate gravy and bring them to you.
That's
Okay,
fine. We're
yeah,
here
yeah.
Monday through Friday from
Yeah.
about 11:30 to a little after 3.
Yeah,
So,
well, I'll break my regimen for that.
All righty, I'll make sure that I have enough for everybody.
We'll bring the bowls. We're good.
All righty, well, y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phyllis. Now, because 1819 News The Break already played that clip of Tuberville saying Kamala came across as like a crazy ex-girlfriend, man, really made Larry Kudlow pop.
I bet.
Whoa, because it's true.
It is.
Again, though, as I said earlier, I don't think you were in the room. I truly believe most of this is a Rorschach test. It often says more about you than it does the candidate. Because people can look at literally the exact same thing. The example we gave was flagrant laughing at Trump. He goes, I'm basically an honest person. And the left's like, look, they're laughing in his face. And then the right's like, look, bro's hanging out. And so there's so much of that going on where I'm certain when she started doing the finger and the vein started popping out, I'm like getting crazy vibe.
Yeah.
But then I'm sure there's some folks like, yeah, fight Kamala. You fight him.
Yas, queen.
Right. Right. Slay, queen, slay. Right. And it's become silly season at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Like at this point, you do have to wonder who is undecided. Who's actually undecided.
Do you think it's a large portion of people?
No.
It's got to be
not
just
at this point.
Tiny.
Right. It's got to be at this point.
Minuscule, one might even say.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of folks. That man on the screen right now, Elon Musk, I think he is playing a huge role. Not just like his money and just the endorsement outright. It's more the cultural permission. Well, if Elon wants it, if Rogan ends up endorsing Trump, it gives people who are not Republicans traditionally. RFK Jr. has already given this permission. Yeah. Elon has now. A lot of the Silicon Valley folks have now.
Well, the other side, they have their version of Elon. They have
Mark Cuban.
Which is going over like a turd in a punch bowl.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen just a bigger wiener than Mark Cuban?
No. Lately, I don't know what he's been doing, but it is not working for Cuban.
He hasn't been likable ever, and all of a sudden he comes out like he's helping.
Now, Elon shared a meme where it says bad billionaires trying to sway elections is morally wrong, and it shows Elon in his dark MAGA hat, and then the bottom says good, but it's okay if billionaires try to sway elections if it's for my tribe, and it's Mark Cuban. Elon quote tweets that and says politics is absurdly tribal. Also didn't realize Maddow was a billionaire. Talking about Mark Cuban, and everybody are starting to see the resemblance that Mark Cuban looking more and more like Rachel Maddow these days. And Keith Olbermann. They all
in the same room together?
Seem to regress to the mean of...
You ever seen them in the same room together?
That's a good point. That is a good point. Did y'all know that Trump had a Nelson Mandela connection?
It doesn't surprise me, but no, I did not.
I did. He offered him his plane, right?
Yeah, Tyrus...
is that right?
Pulled it out of him in an interview.
So Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How was somebody, and it's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean, why do we not know those things?
It's something that I've never, I love doing it. I don't need praise for it. I don't, we all like a certain level of praise, but I've never, I just like helping people. I help a lot of people, and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk about it. It's nice that you bring it up. I also think it's not a narrative that the press likes talking about, for me.
But I think it would help a lot of the American people who have been misled, I myself included. Now, listen, I'm voting for you now because of the man you are, not just because of the policies, because not every American will get the opportunity that I had to saw who you were backstage. And that's why I have this list. I mean, I have testimonials. We can't go through all of them because
I want to see them.
Now, this was I had to dig deep.
I like that.
You donated $100,000 to raise dogs. You're not even a dog guy. Yeah. Explain that.
Well, that's Lara. So I have the wife of Eric, and she's a terrific person, you know.
And it reminds me of something. I don't know if y'all saw Patrick Bet David sit down with Trump.
Yeah.
Bet David did something brilliant at the end of his podcast. He talked about being a father, and he sort of did his own weave or swerve against Trump. He talked about, you're a great father, your kids respect you. I had a guy, a very important guy I won't name, tell me about fatherhood. At first, you're valorized or you're a hero. When you're a son and you're looking at your father, you're like, first he's your hero. You want to be him. Then you demonize him. And then you humanize him. And you realize, oh man, I shouldn't have said those things. And Trump's like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And Bet David talks a little more and then has his swerve. He goes, I think at first, when you won in 2016, you were a hero to folks. And I think you were incredibly demonized over these years. I think what's happening right now is you're being humanized.
Mm-hmm.
Trump he seemed uncomfortable, but
yeah.
He's like, what are you trying to get me to cry? I don't cry. And he's like, I'm not trying to get you to cry. But it was, I thought that was spot on.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting Trump's father of the nation. That's a little much for me. But I don't like to view presidents that way. But when you see an example of a guy who has been so in the public eye, and yes, a hero at first to so many, demonized again by so many, and then now humanized the more he does interviews like this. I just had to give voice to that. It was a brilliant idea from Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not hyperbolic to at least acknowledge or to at least ask the question, who has been the figurehead of a cultural shift in our nation's history more so than Donald Trump, other than the founding fathers? Like, I mean, possibly Lincoln, but for the
Lincoln, FDR, I would say FDR played that role.
Yeah,
for sure.
but I mean, look at who you're look at the massive historical significance of those two figures,
right?
And we're putting him in that conversation. That's not small potatoes.
Well, and our earlier point about we might already be in the middle of a world war. Like, it starts slow, folks. If you read the history books, these things don't start all, oh, we're in a world war, everybody knows it. No, they tend to start real slow, and you ease and sleepwalk into it. Yeah. And those names we mentioned, Lincoln, FDR, it's always in the midst of war, sadly, that these greats are made. We'll see. We will certainly see. And again, I'm not one to usually go all in. I really am not. I'm at this point, though. I voted for him in 2020. I guess I'm dark MAGA now. Like, let's go with this thing. When I see the Elons and these types going for it, I'm like, okay, let's get everybody together. Let's get the band together. But I hope that we're not overstating it just yet. Again, 18 days left, something like that.
Something like that.
And there are more elections than just what's going on at the presidential level. There are the Senate elections. The House elections, including, I think, next week, Caroline Dobson will be joining us on the show. I think also next week, the mayor will be joining us on the show. So there's a lot of different dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
Going on. I'm going to talk city, but also would be interested to talk to him about, I don't normally get into national politics with him, but I know he's a Kamala surrogate, and be interesting to see what he's saying as we get very, very close to this election day. Let's go to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right.
Man, it's Friday already, and y'all messed me up calling me at 2:15. Somebody's store.
Well, I apologize.
Like, holy smoke, it's 3 o'clock already? And now, no, it's 2:15.
Sorry, Ray.
Another 4 hours to go. Unbelievable. Yep. So, hey, we still have those incredible sales going on in the store, and giving the countertop away. So if you'll stop by the store and put your name in, you could win a countertop.
That's always good.
But you got to stop by the store.
Right.
You've got to stop by the store. Hey, did y'all see that video of Donald Trump last night talking about the men for Kamala?
Yes, yeah, we played it earlier. It's amazing.
I'm going to vote for him twice just for that one statement. That was too funny.
Here, if for folks who haven't heard it, I got to find this and play it again because it's not long. It's just fantastic. I think it's number 3. Yeah, here it is.
There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris. Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
Yeah. Wow, he literally did your wife's boyfriend meme. It's amazing.
He's on the internet. He knows.
Yes.
Yeah, my brother Ron called me and said, "You got to listen to this." And after I heard, I said, "I got a couple of friends. I'm gonna send them some shirts." He's like, "No, we'll ever wear that shirt again."
Nope.
I said, no, they will not. Well, hey, listen, I know y'all got to go. You got a lot on your plate today, but if y'all need any floors at all, call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement.
And again, when you call them at 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray on the radio with those like Joey and Eddie and Craig.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray. See you, bro.
Have a good weekend, man. Yeah, coming up, should be here in just a few shopping minutes. United States Senator Katie Britt joining us in studio. And, I mean, so far, what have we learned today? It does, am I wrong to be, this is where my neurosis and my lack of confidence comes out, where it's like, I think it's Trump. I think that op-ed we read at the beginning, it's a landslide. Like all the stars seem to be aligning, how she is cratering, how Kamala Harris is cratering. And you can see it with the infighting within the Democrat Party.
Right.
But part of me is like, man, it seems
Got
good.
that doubt.
I'm an Auburn fan.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm a Buccaneers fan. Like, I know how this works. You can never trust the hope. But we'll see.
She just looks so run down and just tired and intoxicated all the time. It's like she just. I think she's ready. I think she's doing the Roberto Duran no mas thing. I think she's just done.
And on that dour note, well, hopeful note, actually.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, whose side are you on, bro?
I don't know some days. Whose side are you on? Who are you voting for?
I Stone Cold Steve Austin, as we all know.
Brother.
You have to write him in. but
Yeah, I have to write him
love
in.
that.
And it'll be a part of the voting record forever.
That's
That
right.
it-
That's the part
I mean, he won your vote in that WrestleMania match with Bret Hart,
Oh,
where he wouldn't
100%.
submit.
Yeah.
He wouldn't submit, and he's got the blood pouring down the face.
That's a leader.
Just wouldn't say uncle.
Yeah. You think, you imagine him showing up to Putin, smacking him upside the head with a can of Busch Light and just telling him to get his act together?
But the thing is, Trump literally did that, and he didn't have to cut his forehead with a razor blade, and it's a work. He literally has blood pouring down his face, yelling, "Fight, fight, fight."
Yeah, but Stone Cold Steve Austin would have. If he would have taken a bullet to the ear.
You do know there is a clip. We don't have time right now. Maybe I find it in this quick break where Stone Cold cuts a promo against Trump in the ring.
Really? Oh yeah, I shared that.
Oh, it's
I shared that
amazing.
Before.
It is amazing.
He's unfazed by his machismo. Donald Trump is not fazed by Stone Cold at all. So I'll give him that.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are the 5 steps you'll have to take to buy a home in this market. First, it's so important to get pre-qualified through a local lender because to get an offer accepted, you will have to have a written pre-approval letter submitted with your offer. Second, it's critical that you have identified the 3 most important must-haves with a house, including the location where you want to live. Third, always hire a professional buyer's agent that will represent your best interest and to be looking out for your interests, not the seller's interests through the transaction, working on your behalf all the way to the closing. Fourth, hire the best home inspector you can find. Let him identify the issues with the home. Let your agent negotiate on your behalf for needed repairs. Fifth, close with a top-notch closing attorney's office that will examine the title, provide you with title insurance, and give you good title in the future. For a complete list of buyer agent services, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Whitworth Farm Equipment has a qualified and certified mechanic. Gary Baker can do it all. Along with Josh and Gillian, Chara now has the full-service farm center you've been looking for. Your tractor should work as hard as you do and keep working. They're open Tuesday through Friday from 7 till 5 and Mondays by appointment. Whitworth Farm Equipment for all tractor parts, service implements, and trailers. Plus, they now sell pine straw rolls. 285-9977 or visit them at 7458 Deatsville Highway.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. That is a video from Caspian Report. And it is a great outlet for, I would say layman's geopolitics. Don't act like you got a PhD after watching his stuff. But that opening alone is enough to make you say, maybe we should pay attention. Here it is. Again, I'll play just a little bit of this.
Just as Iran and Israel are exchanging kinetic blows, multiple reports indicate that Tehran may have conducted an underground nuclear test for the first time. On October 5th, the U.S. Geological Survey detected unusual seismic activity with a magnitude of 4.5 at a depth of 10 kilometers. It happened in a remote area southeast of the capital, Tehran. At around the same time, numerous Iranian state-run media outlets, including military channels, reported that an extraordinary announcement regarding Iran's nuclear program would soon be made. The earthquake, the rhetoric, the location, and the timing all add a layer of complexity to an already combustible region. So, did Iran covertly detonate a nuclear bomb to send a cryptic message to the Israelis? We have no way of knowing, and open source intel can only get us so far. What we do know is that the Iranian plateau is prone to earthquakes, and the 10-kilometer deep epicenter could be just the base value that seismographic readers can interpret. Smoke without fire. That's what this incident is. Even so, in the grand scheme of things, it looks increasingly likely that Iran's leadership will get its hands on nuclear weapons.
Again, it's about a 18-minute report. It's a Caspian Report, Caspian, if you want to watch the whole thing. That's just a little taste.
And does Hezbollah still use the mushroom cloud on its flags? Just curious.
I don't know. I know they did.
Yeah.
But it's like, the more I look at this, man, it's getting heated.
You know, you don't hear the word non-proliferation that much anymore.
Right.
It's not even being considered as an option.
Though Trump said in that, of all things, that comedy podcast, Flagrant, we were on the verge of denuclearization. I had a deal I wanted to do with Russia and China.
That'd be interesting.
Because they broke with a bunch of treaties that had been, developed in the 80s with the Soviet Union, a bunch of good treaties. And it looked like they were driving for another hard deal to reduce the stockpiles of nuclear weapons in the major three, and probably to crack down big time on Iran and make sure they can never have this. So if they already do, who knows? But that just changes the map, and it makes the world all the more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hit another break. Hopefully we'll have United States Senator Katie Britt on the other side.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Hello, this is Pam with All About the Bounce. We have been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for a little over a month now and have seen great results. Thank you, Blue Water, for helping us to bring the bounce to more customers across the River region. Radio advertisement is definitely the best advertisement.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. This Canadian cool down will start to fade, and we're in for quite a weekend warm-up and some big-time warming next week. Sunny and nice today with a high temperature up to about 73. Clear skies, still chilly, 45 the overnight low temperature tonight. Beautiful weekend ahead with a high around 76 Saturday, 78 to 80 on Sunday. Abundant sunshine, jacket weather nights in the 40s. Still storm-free and dry for several days with 80s next week, daytime, 50s at night. Back to shorts and t-shirts weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River Region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Well, it's been a pretty hectic show, Eddie. We've talked about breakfast cereal.
Yes.
We talked about discotheques that used to be here in Montgomery.
Yeah.
And we've talked about Trump getting the big mo. And we talked about Iran might already have a nuke.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, we've talked about it all. And joining us now to keep the conversation going, we have United States Senator Katie Britt. Katie, how you doing today?
I am doing wonderfully. I'm glad to be in studio with y'all and excited for a good time.
So
Awesome to see you.
I know you've been campaigning. Where all have you been as a Trump-Vance surrogate?
Look, anywhere that I can go to help the cause. I mean, honestly, we've done a lot of different fundraising across the country. Obviously went to Georgia more recently and set to head to Texas to help Ted Cruz. And it's really all hands on deck at this point. If you look, though, from a fundraising perspective, we continue to be outraised. I mean, Democrats kind of have a machine that is built in. And if you look at even just Senate dollars to dollars, candidate to candidate, we're far being outraised and outspent. But yet we continue to climb in the polls. I believe it's because our message is resonating. I think people are ready for a change. And despite what Kamala Harris says, she's not the change. She's actually the status quo.
Yep.
And so really anywhere they need me in any way, shape, or form, I think there's a lot at stake this election cycle. And I think the American people are seeing it, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, and I can't go watching a podcast fiend. I guess that target demographic. So when I see Flagrant and there's Trump on Flagrant and they're yucking it up, and then all of a sudden Schultz gets all very serious about IVF, and then I hear your name.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then I hear your name at a town hall where Trump's talking about this. I hear Ted Cruz talking about this.
Right.
So it seems like you have become one of the point people in the Senate, at least, and for President Trump when it comes to the issue of IVF.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I obviously was boots on the ground and kind of sort of saw firsthand what was happening here in our state. Got to hear the concern and the anguish from women and for parents who had been praying to bring a child, into this world, and were using the procedure of IVF to help them do that. And I have said often, obviously, that to me is the greatest gift God has ever given me, is the ability to be a mom, and wanted to make sure that that is legal and accessible in all 50 states, which it is. And the most interesting thing, I think, more recently about the coverage is the story that's been there the whole time of us advocating and Republicans standing firmly with women's ability to access and the ability to access IVF the story's finally being told. But for months, Joey, months on months, they tried to suppress that story and tried to actually use that narrative because they believed they could use it as a political football to scare and to fearmonger individuals across the country that Republicans didn't stand with IVF. And so I am proud that, like, when the story finally comes out, that people know that not only that I firmly stand with that, but also work diligently to encourage others to do the same. And there's been no bigger champion than President Trump since literally the moment that I talked with him, and proud to see him continue to lead on IVF and so many other important issues.
Well, and we played at the time when you were calling them out on the Senate floor. And
yeah,
it's good to see it get more attention, that we're standing strong in this. And my opinion's always been that, in a way, the judges here in Alabama did everyone a favor, because some of the ethical concerns that go long-term as the tech improves have been a concern for a while. You can find NBC News articles going back to 2014 and 2015. And I think this really forced, okay, how do we practically deal with this with frozen embryos? And in particular, I've talked to friends who are going through IVF, and they were upset at the decision, but I said, well, how would you feel if those were your embryos that were destroyed? So I think it's an issue that everybody wants it to be available so we can have families, but I would hope that the technology, we bring our morals up to date as the technology continues to advance.
Well, and I think that's the difference too. I think you've just actually nailed the argument for the difference in the bill put forth by Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats versus the bill that Senator Ted Cruz and I led on the Senate floor. Their bill moves into things like human cloning. It actually removes the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which is something that has been bipartisan for years upon years. And then they decided not to allow that to be a part of it. You look at mine and Senator Cruz's bill, where we are all working diligently to make sure that it is legal and accessible in all 50 states, and allowing states to come up with those guidelines, which is the way it has always been. And obviously, as we believe continually that those decisions should be made at the state level, I think it's important that we stand with that. And so to your point about friends that are going through it, people who want to either begin or grow their family, I think it's critically important we tell those stories and we make sure that it's accessible. And the difference in this is it is legal and accessible right now in all 50 states. If Chuck Schumer had truly felt like that wasn't the case, then he knows he has to get to 60 votes in the U.S. Senate.
Right.
There has been no more vocal supporter of this than me in the U.S. Senate, and Senator Ted Cruz. I mean, Cruz has been out front. You know, the two of us from day one, we led that effort, getting all 49 senators to sign on and say that we strongly support nationwide access to continued nationwide access to IVF. And yet not one of them came and talked to us. So they put that bill on the floor yet again, knowing the same result. They wouldn't allow us to have any amendments on it. So, I mean, they weren't interested in actually making sure that was the case. They wanted a political football. They wanted to be able to say, create a narrative that was false about Republicans. And so they were uninterested in the very problem they were trying to, quote unquote, solve. And so I think that we are starting to finally expose that. Right. And I think we'll keep doing it. And I'm proud of Senator Cruz's leadership, and certainly proud of President Trump. I think that was a game changer, and in a moment that we certainly needed it.
Yeah, setting up the conversation about other technological changes, including humanoid robots.
Oh, God. Let's talk about that.
But I want to set it up this way. We played earlier this week the NVIDIA CEO talking about how Elon Musk and team at X set up this essentially computer AI brain in Memphis and set up thousands of GPUs. And the CEO said, normal company take a year to 4 years.
Okay.
Elon and team did it in 19 days.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
And I'm not expecting everybody to move at the speed of Musk.
That's so good.
But
move at the speed of Musk.
But I wonder, like, you're up there, you understand much better than anybody sitting in this room, and I think most people out there listening, how the Senate actually works, how the process actually works.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can start to streamline? Because some of these issues, the tech's moving a lot faster than not just our moral understanding, but it seems our legislative abilities.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if you look at AI comprehensively, this is something that we have tried our very best to keep in the bipartisan lane at current structure, because at the end of the day, unless you have some type of supermajority in both chambers and the White House, it takes people obviously working together and coming to some common ground on these things. So you saw last year both 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats in the Senate come together and start to really dig into it. And we found out exactly what you're saying. I mean, that the tech is moving so fast. Obviously, we want to keep innovation in America. We don't want to drive innovation outwardly, but it's also important that we put up the proper guardrails when it comes to some of the things that can be done that would be outside the bounds of what we believe is morally acceptable. And so when you look at humanoids, that's why it was so critically important. So all that to say, we've been talking about it this entire Congress that I've been in Congress, and yet to your earlier point, there was a framework that was put out with about 25 points. But legislatively, there's been nothing that has moved. Now, we oftentimes in DC, you see people believe they become the expert just by becoming the senator, and it's I'm so over it. I'm so over it. It's
You should hear us talk radio host, how expert we are on everything.
So, it's talking to those experts, talking to the Elon Musk, talking to these tech giants and letting us know kind of what we're looking at. And that's actually how we got to the humanoid issue. I was in a meeting, and this was not a classified meeting. I was in a meeting with someone, and they start talking about humanoids. And I immediately, normally I know the material or, have read or researched or have some type of familiarity with what I'm talking about or someone's talking with me about. And when I don't, I can pretty quickly get there.
Yeah.
I finally had to go, time out. What are you talking about? And in that moment, as he started explaining, which I'm sure y'all talked about on this show at this point, what a humanoid is and what it is capable of, and the infiltration kind of sort of into our lives, our daily lives, in our homes, in our work environment. And that is totally separate from what it could do military capabilities and what the Chinese are doing with dogs of that sort, obviously, not humanoid dogs. I'm not sure what they're called, but, all of those types of things on in military operations, and then growing them to potential humanoids in military operations and whatnot. So looking at it and knowing that if you see how fast this stuff is moving, and you can just take social media, for example, once you kind of sort of get it and it's in everyone's house and everyone's space, reeling those things back in, even when they're not good or outside our moral, it's almost impossible. So I actually dropped a piece of legislation as an amendment to the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. And I have to mention, once again, something that Chuck Schumer has not put on the floor or passed. But to hopefully do exactly what we did with Chinese drones, and saying that we have to make sure that we keep these out of our spaces as much as possible. Because you think about this, a humanoid made by China, and China is using obviously labor that is unfair labor, slave labor in some situations when you're talking about the weakers amongst others, and to be able to undercut our market intentionally in order to be able to grab and store our data and be involved in our daily lives. We've got to be more strategic about how we think about these things, and us just talking about it here makes people more aware. So if you see that Chinese product, you see that undercut versus what it would cost in the market here in America, with good wages and all of the things, and obviously not subsidized in the way that China is subsidizing it over there. We've got to be vigilant. We got to be loud. So I am hopeful that we can try to get that into some type of conference report. Like I said, we did it with Chinese drones, so we'll continue to work that both on the House and the Senate side. But the more people know, the more they can raise their voice, the more they can talk directly to the people that represent them, and realize that we got to make sure that we keep China out of every crevice of our life. Now,
the gentleman you co-authored the Wall Street Journal op-ed that y'all put out, Jacob Hellberg. I listened to some of his book, Wires of War. And one thought, and I actually found other Wall Street Journal op-eds kind of echoing my thought. Yes, China's trying to infiltrate. Russia's trying to do things. Iran's trying to do things. There are malignant foreign actors trying to do all sorts of things. But there was a part of me going, well, doesn't our own government do some of these techniques? And especially with this technology coming on board more and more, is there a way to secure our, of course, national interest and secure us against those foreign threats? But I sometimes worry about the back door to the U.S. government itself. It's too much power especially for unelected people to have.
Look, and I think you are absolutely right to be asking questions and making sure that we're being vigilant about those things. I would say the difference, just kind of on the surface with regards to Chinese companies versus American companies is because of our free market. And to your point, I'm sure that there are ways that these things can be misconstrued or improperly used, and we need to be vigilant and safeguard against that. But the problem that I think that we don't think about as a society in America is that the CCP, our problem is not with the Chinese people. Our problem is with the Chinese Communist Party and their infiltration and these businesses being run, or all of that information being completely accessible to the CCP because that's the way they run their government. Here, and to your point, we have to be vigilant about making sure that our liberties are protected, our freedoms are protected, and that our forefathers and what they believed, that we don't allow that to continue to be eroded, which we're seeing, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz saying we need a minister of truth. Is that what we're?
I see it a lot more now than ever before.
It's unbelievable. So I think you're right that we need to be vigilant about that. But I do think it's different because they do not have those safeguards in place. They don't have the processes in place, and they don't have. They actually have that back door immediately. For the most part, into every business that is there in a way that we don't here.
That argument, though.
Come on with it.
Go with it.
Come on.
Back with to the Chinese. We've got so much of their technology here right now.
Mm-hmm, we do.
And me as just a free market guy, the drones, for instance, I'm a drone pilot. I get that American companies want into the drone world. I get it. I get the reason why. A lot of it's financial. However, you're talking about how Chinese companies give incentives, I guess, for these Chinese drone makers to come and send their stuff here.
Yeah.
Instead of them going to and lobby for that, the American company, why don't they discount the price of their drone? The technology is there. And there's one drone company that you guys don't like, DJI. They've actually teamed up with an American manufacturer. All they did was give them that same information.
Yeah.
To me, it becomes almost the same with TikTok. It almost comes a fight over our leadership telling us you guys don't want to deal with these people. We can't tell you why, but you don't want to. When someone like me, I see our government kind of doing the same thing sometimes.
Yeah. So I would say, look, when you're thinking about that, you have to think about the undercutting, obviously the intellectual property, what that costs there. But it goes back to a little bit of the earlier point, just at the very basics. And we have an unlevel playing field when it comes to China. So their government obviously subsidizes many of their businesses, of which are things to advance and to put themselves in a superior position to us, not just now, but long term.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And in a way that we are not doing. So the price is obviously different there. It's also different because of the labor and what they pay laborers there and versus what we pay here.
Agreed.
So there's
but the
a difference
incentive
there.
factor.
Yeah, but there's a difference there. And then there's also a difference like in the energy market too. All of these things play and work in compilation together. So if you think about energy too, and we could go look up the stats, but what we're doing as far as our energy market versus them opening 4 new coal plants every time.
We're shooting ourselves in the foot.
So we continue to shoot. We continue to there's some of the stuff that they're literally undermining the market for, and then there's other things where we work diligently where we work diligently and where we're shooting ourselves in the foot when it comes to like energy and that type of thing. So there's a lot of things that go into it. The problem is they are truly our adversary, both from an economic
100%.
perspective and a defense capability. This is different in that, like, knowing the ins and outs of your life and behavior here and having access to all of the intimate thoughts, but in a way that their companies, they actually can take that data. For instance, on TikTok, look, the problem there too, it's multifolded, but they are using the algorithms that they send here, that they send here to America against our kids, are very different than the algorithms that they send there. So they're not using this stuff to build us up. They're using this stuff to tear us down. And at some point you have to enter these things with eyes wide open. You look at what they're doing from a military capability. You think about Xi Jinping coming over, and I'm sure y'all remember when they cleaned up San Francisco.
For him and turned it red. You bet.
Can you even with that? They won't do that for their own citizens, but they'll do that for the leader of the Chinese Communist Party. But you think about these things, so it's more of a holistic view of what we know they're doing with our data, what we know they're doing to influence in a negative way our young people, our population. You talked about disinformation or that type, you think about like Iran bringing TikTok influencers over, kind of talking to them about Osama bin Laden, talking to them about, and trying to create that internal or intentional disruption. So there is a balance. We do have a free market. We have a constitution that we need to live by, but, and we also need to make sure that we are not letting our adversaries gain momentum, both economically from a well-being perspective, and then obviously from a defense capability perspective. So you're not wrong in that these are all things we need to be thinking and talking about, but we also have to be doing something about them too, because otherwise we're going to turn around and China's going to own us in more ways than one.
But like with drones, for instance, it's a price. And the
I
price
love it.
difference
It's like
is
drones.
huge.
I will know what the buzz is here. It's drones.
The price difference is huge.
Right.
If I wanted an American drone, I could not get in the business.
Okay, and
I could not get in the business. I could not afford to get
Listen, and I don't know price of drones, so it's something I can look into, and we can have a greater
Well,
conversation
it's just
about.
a general basic. The Chinese one literally is 50% of the cost. I can afford to get in the business
Right.
with that one, but I
Right.
cannot
And so, but
afford to get
you're-
into the business with the American.
But all these things factor into each other, and they literally, like, we have a disproportionate effect when it comes to that. You look at things like defense. So we've got to take a hard look at how we do business when it comes to making sure
Agreed.
that our servicemen and women are the best trained, equipped, and ready across the planet.
Agreed, 100%.
Because we have to make sure that these dollars are being used efficiently, they're being put where they need to be put, and that we're giving people the predictability to actually keep our men and women in uniform safe, and ultimately, obviously, sustain peace, not only here, but help our allies do that as well. And we are failing in that. And it comes back to something we've talked about earlier. You think about the Chinese Communist Party, and they have obviously the longevity
They have the long-term goals.
The long-term goals, and we and in our democracy, which I am a strong proponent of, our constitutional republic here, because we change leaders quite frequently, there's not that sustainability of vision in a way that may be there. And so we have to be more thoughtful about that. And you and I, and we've talked about this, my whole problem with the way we do business in DC, not getting our job done, not passing bills when we're supposed to, Farm Bill. And I hope you have some farmers on. I wish you would, because it is dire. The fact that we have not done our job with a farm bill, which is every 5 years we're supposed to do. So that didn't sneak up on us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plenty of time to prepare, but yet no farm bill has been put on the floor. They need that relief when you're looking at input costs, when you're looking at energy costs, when you're looking at price of fertilizer, when you're looking at markets. I mean, this is worse than these family farms have seen in generational. I mean, this is once in a generation.
We have a rep for Farm City Week coming in November.
Good.
At our annual visit with them, and I think the technology question gets wrapped up in the larger question of decoupling from China. This is why the price difference is there. And
also, but when you talk about like defense capability, so us not passing these appropriations bills on time, no one has predictability. Like, so, we were 232 days into the fiscal year last year before we ever passed a budget for the defense. So you have all of these these people who are in the, the quote unquote defense industrial complex who have no idea what the order is going to be. And then they have to, and then they're having to bid it at one cost and it's pricing another, then they're raising the cost. Then we can't buy nearly as many. Whereas if we were more strategic about our thought pattern, we could say, this is how many we want for this many years. And I mean, the price always goes down when there's predictability. We have none of that because we don't do our job. And I'm sick of it.
I hear you. Amen.
Preaching to the choir.
Amen. In a second, I want to go, because we have about like 7 minutes left here, to a Trump wins effect on the state of Alabama. But that system, the broken system you just described, who benefits from it? If so many folks are caught off guard, who is the ones benefiting?
That's a great question. It's the leaders. It is it is Chuck Schumer, and Chuck Schumer, it's the quote four corners. So your Democrat leadership, your Republican leadership, because ultimately they get to kind of write these bills, write the omnibus bills, write those things in the dark of night where the American people lose, let's be clear, because you don't get to see a process where we get out there and someone debates. I mean, the greatest deliberative body in the world never debates. I mean, I actually brought bills to the floor the other day to show that Kamala Harris is being completely and totally dishonest about where she stands on things. Having a wall in her campaign commercial.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Where's that?
That's crazy.
I'm sorry. You know, when she had called that Trump's medieval, what did she call it? His medieval vanity project.
Yeah.
And yet she's putting it in her campaign ads. And she now says she's for the law when she said she would never vote for a dime. And I know that my Democratic colleagues, because I have to deal with this all the time, will not spend $1 on making sure that we have a physical barrier to help our Border Patrol agents make sure that we're funneling people in correct places and make sure that there's actually safety and security there. And I know they won't do it. So I went down to the floor and put the wall bill on the floor and went for unanimous consent. And because Chuck Schumer had done this on the IVF bill the day before, saying, if you're for this, the American people are going to see where you stand.
Right.
So I went down there and used Chuck Schumer's words right back at him and said, and in the words of the majority leader, America is about to see where you stand. And I put the wall bill on the floor. They blocked it. I put energy. I put, you know how she says she's for fracking now? Unleash American energy.
Yeah.
I had Markwayne Mullen from Oklahoma. It was amazing. Y'all go watch that debate between he and Markey. It was excellent. I mean, Markwayne was just spot on. We put Bill closing the asylum loophole, put them on. They blocked every single one of them. So to your point, when we don't debate, the American people lose. When you don't get to see these votes happen, and they fill the tree, which, you know, there are times where different legislative structure works, but in this, the people who win is Chuck Schumer. I mean, the leaders
Makes
of the
sense.
party.
It
That's
makes
who
sense.
wins.
It creates an informal center of power, and they can
They
can silo everything through that little thing.
Every
funnel
single
right
thing.
And hold people hostage, like vote for this or not. And
that's one thing I'm looking for in the next Republican leader, and I've been very open about. I want to see individual senators empowered more. I want the committee process to be empowered more. Like, if a bill is marked up in committee, and you can say a certain bipartisan margin, you know, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? It should be able to see the time. It should be able to see the light of day on the Senate floor.
Why
Like
not?
these. And so you have all this built up frustration, Joey, because if we're not passing the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, not on the floor, Farm Bill, not on the floor, not one of the 12 appropriations bills, and 11 out of 12 have come out of committee, not one of them on the floor. You think about these things, then our other ideas that we have, there is such a built up frustration because the work we want to do for the American people, we can't get any movement because we can't bring it to the floor, and we all lose, and the leader wins.
did you see Trump at the Al Smith dinner last night?
I got to see clips of it. I was at an area volleyball game yesterday, which, by the way, was exceptional.
Awesome.
Good to hear.
Great.
This was probably my favorite, if it'll work. Oh, let's see. This is how technology is. You try and you try and you try to smooth setup like that.
And then it breaks
But
your
then
heart.
it breaks your heart like here. I think I got it now.
No, this is them. They're mad at our conversation.
You're right.
Shutting it down.
lot.
Very glum.
Chuck Schumer looking glum.
Doesn't it look glum? It looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
Oh man, I would say Kamala not showing up, or Kamala, however her name said, not showing up to the Al Smith dinner is astounding. And Trump bringing up that last person to do that was Mondale, last candidate to do that. So maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think Trump's going to win. I think he's going to win big.
I do too.
What do you think will be the direct effect on the state of Alabama? Eddie and I were talking about it. We suspect the Vulcan issue with Mexico gets solved pretty darn quick with Trump there.
Done. I mean,
thank you.
Done.
Yeah.
That is done. And that's the difference. We can't even get the Biden administration, Biden-Harris administration to acknowledge and engage in it in the way that we need them to. And think about this. How in the world are you going to tell any company they should relocate in Mexico and create jobs and opportunity for the people there if you know that they don't respect private property? That
they'll steal your company.
They will steal your company and steal everything that you've invested in there. So no, I don't think anyone should move there until you get these things sorted out. But people respond to strength.
Yep.
This is exactly what we're seeing across the globe. I mean, JD made a great point the other day when he was saying all you heard before Donald Trump took office was there was going to be mass chaos, right? And then you think about across the globe, you think about no new wars under Donald Trump.
Right.
You know, I mean, actual sustainable peace that could grow in the Middle East. And so those things, that peace through strength is important. things like what would happen with Vulcan, he would handle that immediately.
Would Space Command be back on the table?
Immediately. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at Space Command, guys, I mean, this is something we've got to give credit to the entire Alabama delegation. Every single person, whether it was Terry Sewell, Mike Rogers, Robert Adderholt, you name it, everyone was working diligently to use their post and their position and their committee assignment to make sure that we were pushing so that that could be a reality.
Good.
And that was a great bipartisan, bicameral effort. And what we did was put language in various bills that made sure that that could be a reality if in fact Trump comes back into office, because Alabama was first.
Yeah.
Go look we won.
There was an IG report investigating it. No, they said it's on the merits.
It is absolutely on the merits. And it was like every category. I mean, we were top in one category, top 5 in the, we won.
Right.
And you think about Colorado, Colorado was like 5th, but they were the number 1, I think, blue state. We should check that out.
The blue state.
They were the number 1 blue state. And so it's like, you should make these decisions based on our national security.
That's how they should be.
I mean,
It's a no-brainer.
fairness, the diligence of the people and unfortunately we saw Joe Biden play politics. So I think Vulcan taken care of immediately. And I also think that helps not just our Alabama company, every American company, when they know that their president has their back. It's a game changer in dealing with other countries. And then I think obviously Space Command, I think we get it back to its rightful home in Huntsville.
Well, we're pretty much out of time here, and I really appreciate you being here in studio when you have time here in town. I just got to say, I think Trump has had such a strange relationship with the state of Alabama politically over the years that it's now, I think, a place buried deep in his mind, and I think he loves it just from seeing that shot of him at Brian Denny next to you on Jumbotron.
Loved it.
Yes.
And Alabama loves him. I mean, it was great to hear the reception that he got, and people are just ready for common sense to return to the White House. Look, the things that we're asking for are a secure border. We want our dollar to go further. We don't want the world to be in chaos. There are basic things. Stand with our men and women in uniform. Back the blue. I mean, things that we grew up knowing were fundamentally American that actually shouldn't be partisan. This is just part of the country that we have in the fabric of our nation, and he'll bring it back, and we're excited about it.
Well, I stole about a minute there. I appreciate the time.
No, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Greg Vidal and Happy Hour. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.